right, welcome. I, Nicholas Pardue, hereby reconvene the Board of Education regular meeting in open session at 5:03 p.m. We have a quorum present with all board members in attendance. Please note that this meeting is being both recorded and live streamed for public viewing. I would like to welcome the community members. It's great to have a full house in attendance this evening. As a reminder, governing board meetings are a business meeting of the board, held in public, and although public participation is encouraged, it is not the public's meeting. It is the duty of the board president and/or my clerk to maintain an orderly, respectful, and peaceful meeting where all perspective, voices, and opinions are welcome. Please refrain from speaking while another person has the floor. Item D1, no action was taken in closed session. And item D2, Miss Eleanor Briggs, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mark on the flag bugs me every time.
All right, item D3, approval of the agenda, calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item E1, student presentations. Call on the principal of Murrieta Canyon Academy, Mr. Matt Bean.
Good evening, Dr. Andrus, school board, and as he said, the packed house. Tonight, I have the honor to introduce you to our CTE Visual Arts program. We offer CTE studio art and we offer photography. Our teacher, Mr. Napolitano, aka Mr. Knapp, and we have two students, Joni Huang and Gavin Larson, who are going to present to you.
Thank you. All right, good evening. So my name is Chris Napolitano, like Mr. Bean said, also known as Mr. Knapp. I've been a visual arts teacher here in Murrieta for the last 18 years. So we've been lucky enough to build a CTE program at Murrieta Canyon Academy. We offer two pathways, which are CTE Studio Art, as well as CTE Digital Photography. Before my students begin with the presentation, I just wanted to personally thank the district. You guys have been so supportive, especially for embracing career technical education. These programs offer the funding that we need. We're able to buy supplies and equipment that meet industry standards. Our students are able to participate in industry experiences that we would not be able to afford otherwise, both students, staff, schools. Just to put things into perspective, my first year teaching in 2008, I was on a temp contract. My total budget for the visual arts for the entire school year was $100. So I was at the 99-cent store quite a bit, spending my own money. Now, though, fast forward 18 years, our students have all of the resources they need to succeed and even to compete at the national level. We've had 2 congressional art show winners in the last 5 years. So I really appreciate all of your guys' support. So I'm gonna pass it over to Gavin and Joni. So Joni's in our CTE Studio Art program. She's extremely talented, as you'll see here in a bit, as well as Gavin, who is a part of our CTE Digital Photo program. Thank you, guys. And then, let's see. Okay, so there we go.
Good evening. My name is Joni Huang. As Mr. Knapp said, I am part of his CTE Studio Art Pathway. And within the past 2 years, I've been able to experiment with a ton of different mediums, including oil paints, acrylic paints, oil pastels, printmaking, ink, graphite, and watercolor. And throughout the 2 years, I've been able to experience all these different kinds of mediums because this is a CTE Studio Art Pathway, and students are really just able to experiment with all these different kinds of mediums, and they're really able to express what they want to with the freedom that we have in this class.
Hi, board. It's good to be back. I'm Gavin Larson. Good to see you guys. So for the past 2 years, I've been in the CTE photography program with Mr. Knapp. We all love Mr. Knapp. So outside of school, I do, dabble, I guess you could say, in a little bit of photography. I've been doing it for the past 4 years since before I came to MCA, and the past 2 years have really helped me elevate my skills in that type of sense, you could say. I love doing photography. I love being in the class. It's been teaching me, Mr. Knapp and everybody else has been teaching me so much more than I could possibly imagine, and it's helped me, get into future career plans for me if I want to pursue something like that. So I've been learning all the technical aspects of photography, and it's helped me elevate my game to what I was 2 years ago before I came. So yeah.
So in the CT Studio Art pathway, students are able to experience many things that are related to visual arts. So in the past 2 years, we've been to the Riverside Art Museum, we've been to the Cheech Marin Center of Chicano Art, and we've also visited Garner Holt Productions, which focuses on animatronics, creative design, creative engineering, and all that stuff.
We also get a lot of guest speakers and go on field trips a lot. A lot of professional artists and photographers like to speak to us, and we like going to the field trips. It's very impactful, I would say. We go to art schools like Laguna College of Arts and Design, and the Otis College College of Art and Design as well. So those field trips have been amazing.
We are also, during the CTU pathway, the past 2 years that I've been in, I've also been participating in the Kiwani Student Art Show, the MVUSD Art Walk that is held in downtown, as well as the Congressional Art Competition.
So we actually are also getting taught how to, make post-secondary research like portfolios and websites. As you can see, that's kind of a website that I made not that long ago. It helps me elevate again, helps me get my work out there for anybody that wants to see or, schedule an appointment with me if anybody wants to. But yeah, I love doing it, so it helps me get my name out there, and yeah, it helps everybody else get their name out there if they ever so need it.
So we've also brought a few of our favorite art pieces. So I've brought two that was actually in the art walk this year. So this first one is an oil painting. It's a self-portrait on a panel. This was actually me on my vacation in China last summer. So this took me an entire semester to complete, but it was really fun.
It's really nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's up there.
And then this next one is also an oil pastel drawing of a tiger. So this is really just me trying to do a little study and just have fun with oil pastels, especially since I hadn't touched them in a while before I did this. So.
You probably should have went after me, but it's not as well, but it's on a camera, so this is my brother's football team, the Murrieta Valley Thunderhawks. They're actually very good, so we're two-time West Coast Conference champions. If anybody, yeah, that's all of them. I love all these boys right here. Another thing is, shout out to the Mesa football team. I got a good little shots of them a couple years ago. These are my best work, but obviously it's hard to compete when somebody actually like that comes out there. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
Mr. Knapp, do you on your classroom, when I visited, you did free photos for graduating seniors? Do you guys still do that at your little studio?
Yes, yeah.
I think it's phenomenal.
We're building that program for the CTE photo students. So
That's amazing.
just to reiterate, instead of sending students to get their senior portraits taken and to pay money for that, we offer it for free.
That's
So
amazing.
all of our seniors get a free 30-minute session with some casual shots as well as some cap and gown photos. So that's just something that we're building with the CTE photo program, where eventually that's going to be fully ran by our students. Right now, I'm still doing a lot of it,
Yeah.
but eventually, like Gavin, for example, we've already been working with the lighting and the camera setup, so we're kind of
go.
preparing students to take that over.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah,
Thank you so much. Great job. And that was Gavin Larson Photography, everybody. Just look up his website, his Instagram, all of it.
Gavin, you have a great sense of humor. I always appreciate when you speak.
All right. Okay, so next up, Murrieta Mesa High School Student Representative Caitlin Coleman.
Good evening, board. I hope you're all having a wonderful start to your week. And I'm so excited to introduce to you our culinary arts program at Murrieta Mesa High School. Culinary is a 2-year pathway that gives our students hands-on experience through catering events, competitions, and real-world kitchen training. Our program caters 10 to 20 events each year and is articulated with MSJC College, allowing students to earn college credit while still in high school, and it has become one of the most sought-after pathways on our campus. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce you to our culinary students.
Hi, thank you for having us. Before I let them brag, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Vanessa Cruz, the culinary arts instructor at Murrieta Mesa High School. I've been there about 7 years and still loving it. I just want to thank you guys for having us tonight and letting us brag a little bit on the culinary program. I feel like we're a lesser known program in the district, but thanks to our superintendent, he is showing us more. And I'd also like to thank our principal, Mr. Richards, for inviting us here tonight. Our first student up is Brooklyn Hendricks, and before I bring her up, I just want to say they've cooked for hundreds this year. They've earned thousands, and if it wasn't for these three, we wouldn't have done half of the catering events that we had this year. So again, Brooklyn Hendricks, thank you.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn Hendricks. I'm a senior at Murrieta Mesa, and before I talk about my experience, I'd like to talk about culinary at Murrieta Mesa as a whole. To starters, each year we do a Student of the Month lunch 9 times where we'll cater and serve food. We create the menu ourselves and prep the food ourselves. We had our Senior of the Month breakfast at the Early Learning Center. It went really well, and we served the Senior of the Month from the Murrieta Valley Schools for that month. We also do off-site catering, for example, at the Rotary Club. We also have done catering for Share the Harvest, which is a charity event for the community where we gather donations. Well, we don't gather donations, another club at our school does, but then we'll cook and serve the food in our GPAC. We also serve at HOCO. And then field trips we have done are at the micro farm, the olive oil farm, and then we've done food tours in LA and San Diego. We are part of a culinary competition called CCAP, which stands for Culinary and Career Program. In a total at Murrieta Mesa, we have earned $300,000, and this year we earned $200,000. And 100% of our level 2 students who finished the pathway have earned their industry certificates, which means if they go to a school like MSJC, they don't have to take the intro class. They can move on and save their time and money. I'd like to talk about my experience now. My experience at Murrieta Mesa has been wonderful, especially in the culinary. It's like what I've put most of my time into, and I'm very happy I did because it set me up for pretty much my entire college and career. I've been a part of culinary for all 4 years of high school. I've TA'd for 2 of those years for Miss Cruz. I've been in intro, then advanced culinary, and then culinary management, but because it's not a course anymore, I retook advanced culinary again. I've also been a part of the culinary club for 2 years. I took on the role as being the event planner and the social media manager, so I run our culinary management account, to post and show everything we do in the kitchen. I am a CCAP finalist, so I earned $5,000 cash scholarship towards a school of choice. And I've worked about 50 plus hours for the culinary events, around 23 to 26 events over the past 4 years. And this course has not taught me just about culinary and cooking. It's taught me so much more, like career skills, life skills, how to do a resume, how to be ready for a job interview, what to wear, and just how to be ready for life. So yeah, I'd like to welcome Brian Ruiz.
Good evening, board. My name is Brian Ruiz.
I'm going to stop you really quick.
Sorry.
I would love for you guys to adjust the mic so you don't have to bend over
Oh,
when you
okay,
speak.
yeah.
I didn't want to stop you earlier because I felt so bad you were bent over, but go ahead and adjust.
Got it. Good evening, board. Nice to meet all you guys. My name is Brian Ruiz. I've been a part of the culinary program for 3 years now. Tried getting in my freshman year, but unfortunately I couldn't. It's a very popular class among freshmen and sophomores, but I've been a part of intro and advanced culinary twice. I retook the class this year because I enjoyed it so much the first year. And in culinary club, I'm the vice president, and it's my first year in culinary club. And I have worked many events. I believe I've gotten all 40 of my hours actually from culinary events alone. And I'm also a part of CCAP, and for me, I've won $38,000 to a school out in Pasadena, the Institute of Culinary Education. And I mean, I don't have it mentioned up in my slide, sorry, but my favorite event that I've worked so far has been Share the Harvest. I did it for 2 years in a row, and both years I enjoyed it very much, just helping people serve the food, cooking the food days beforehand, and then just being able to see everyone have a nice meal in front of them. It's super well, and honestly, I enjoy working a lot with, especially these two, Gunnar and Brooke, but everyone else in culinary has been fun to work with as well. And so it's something small. The program definitely deserves a lot more attention than it has right now, in my opinion, but I know that it will just begin to grow even after I leave it. And so with that, I would like to pass it to Gunnar Brusman.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gunnar Brosman. I have been a part of culinary now for 3 years of high school. I did intro my sophomore year and then advanced twice because this program's just amazing. I am the culinary club president this year, which I am honored to be. I was the first top 2 CCAP junior in school's history, which means I was able to attend a all-expense paid-for boot camp at Monroe University in New Rochelle last summer, which was a really crazy experience, and I'll never forget it. As well as a CCAP finalist this year, which I was able to bring home a $120,000 scholarship to my dream school, Denver University. Thank you. Thank you. And with my peers, I was also an event planner where we were able to plan all the events, like Student of the Month, like Brooke mentioned. Worked 40 plus hours in culinary events alone, getting all those community service hours, like no problem. And from all the experience I've had and the people I've met, I truly understood what I wanted to do with my life, and that was to pursue the culinary world and become something much bigger. Oops. And yeah, here's some of the photos that we have from the past few years, and yeah. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. While you guys are up, I just had a quick question.
We'll take any questions.
Is the class anything like Hell's Kitchen, just,
I know.
or is it a little different?
Not the class, but CCAP.
Yeah, CCAP for sure.
That's like,
Yeah.
that's great. Go ahead, whatever you were.
I was just going to say any questions are welcomed.
Oh, I have a question. You guys all baked the cookies that you brought today? Or those cookies that were delivered to us in closed session? Do you guys make those?
Yeah, we baked them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Thank
those were
you.
so good.
Of course.
I had one of each, so I had 4 cookies in one setting. You can ask them, and I think my favorite, I think it was like a peanut butter. It seemed like a potato chip in it or something. I'm not sure.
It's supposed to be like kitchen sink, but we didn't have
Oh,
pretzels,
kitchen sink,
so
okay.
I substituted with potato chips.
Oh, they were were so good. Thank you so much. I actually feel sick to my stomach because I ate them all, but they were all so good. You guys are awesome.
Great job.
Yeah,
Great
thank
job.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. All right, next we have public comments. And we do have quite a few. I think what we'll do, for the bond, I think we separate them out,
You can do it.
or do you want to do them all and try to limit?
It's up to you. I mean, the board bylaw is 20 minutes on any one subject. So you can shorten people's time down if you want to hear them all. You could go the full 3 minutes. You could do 20 minutes worth and then hear the rest at the end of the meeting. You have some options, or you can shrink them, but everyone has to have a chance to hear.
Sure, sure. I think I would ask the people coming to speak to try to limit if you've said your point or people you're repeating and just adding to what someone else has already said. It would be great just out of respect to the whole audience. That would be wonderful. I think what we'll do is we'll start with miscellaneous first.
That's good, yeah.
And we'll get going. So first up, I have Jameson LeRosignol, followed by Melissa Tokarczyk.
First, thanks. All right, good morning. Good evening, Dr. Andrus, President Pardue, board members, and lots of other cool and important people. I'm sorry that I'm here again today speaking about this, but I feel the need to keep the spotlight on the issue. I think we all should speak up for what we think is right. President Pardue, in your January 7th Instagram post, you stated, quote, math curriculum at all levels, K through 12, the scores have not been what we wanted. And we brought in an advisor from JPL who is also on this mission of making sure that students here in California are prepared and are competitive across the world and the globe so we can have competed at a very high level, end quote. Okay, so now that you have seen this report, what does it say? How are we doing? Can you share that report with the teachers who are working their tails off day in and day out to find ways to connect with their students? You know, the same teachers who voted about 50-50 when asked if we should stay with the integrated pathway or switch to the traditional pathway. For those just tuning in, I've been asking similar questions month after month since you prematurely posted what you, the board, had decided to do before the teachers were even notified. We found out through friends and colleagues who saw it on social media. What a slap in the face that was, and I now believe that it was politically motivated. Just my opinion, though. President Pardue, you have made it abundantly clear that you are not a fan of the Common Core standards and of California in general. And I could be wrong, but I have a suspicion that the paid consultant agrees with you. Well, I'm here to tell you that those standards are not going anywhere soon, and they do not change because we reordered them to satisfy the board's wish to switch back to the traditional sequence. If the public has not been keeping up with this, they probably do not know that your January 7th Instagram post still has the comments with misinformation in them, and like you said at the last board meeting, they're gonna be up there forever. You're not taking them down. I feel like that's a pretty strong stance to take when you've been informed multiple times by me and others that they are not truthful. Kind of an odd take, if you ask me. Okay, so one more time, the standards are the same whether we organize them in the integrated or traditional sequence. Same math, different order, and I think, most importantly for you, a different name that makes people more comfortable. Meanwhile, me and a few other teachers and administrators from our high schools and middle schools are having to work after hours, not for free, to find ways for students in a traditional sequence to continue accessing our advanced level courses. I just had 108 AP Calculus A, B, and BC students take their exam yesterday, and we've been pretty successful in filling those classes at Mesa. With the switch to traditional, it's proven to be more of a challenge getting students into AP Calculus BC. We're not done working on it. I do believe we'll come up with a solution. It just feels wrong to me that this decision was made without having this discussion first. It also makes no sense to me and many others that you did not send this to the Math Advisory Committee so they could discuss these possible issues before just posting on Instagram and making the decision yourself. Please listen to, trust, and support your teachers. You also talked about a partnership. Again, it would be nice to see the data that you referred to on your January 7th comment, even though the report by Mr. Sorensen was shared more recently. Are we really a partnership like you brag about when you did not consult the Math Advisory Committee? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Melissa Tokarczyk, followed by Ellen Larson. Sorry for butchering your name.
Hi, my name is Melissa Tokarczyk. I'm a first grade teacher here in the district with over 13 years experience at the first grade level. I felt drawn to speak tonight to help bring awareness to the increased class sizes of 32 that are going to be facing our lower grades next year. I want to be very clear. Class size reduction in grades K through 2 is not a luxury, it's a necessity. In the primary grades, we're not just teaching content, we're teaching children how to be students. We're teaching them fundamental school behaviors such as raising their hand, waiting their turn, attending to instruction, and working alongside their peers. At the same time, we're teaching them to read. Independent work, as we think of it in the upper grades, simply does not exist at the first grade level. Research and experience show that small group instruction is critical for early literacy. With classes of 32 students, those small groups grow to 7 or 8 students, double the size that is effective. What should be targeted instruction turns into classroom management. When I first began teaching, parent volunteers were plentiful. I had so many volunteers that I had to rotate my parents in and out every other week. These days, with both the economic realities, both parents having to work, I'm lucky if I have one parent every other week turn up. That combined with the lack of classroom support alone is significant. Now combine that with the district's recent removal of intervention teachers, and the impact will be severe. The students who need the most help will be receiving the least support. Small group instruction has been stretched beyond effectiveness, and there is no longer a safety net for students who are struggling early. Additionally, we're seeing a statewide increase in students with special needs, particularly students on the spectrum. And at the same time, the district has made it increasingly difficult to qualify students at both the kinder and first grade levels. As a result, our classrooms are overflowing with students who have significant needs, but no formal supports, no services, no aids, no intervention program, and no longer any more volunteers. First grade classrooms are being asked to absorb all of this. At the upper grades, while classes of 32 are never ideal, they're at least manageable. Older students understand classroom expectations. They can work independently while a teacher pulls a small group. Many students at those levels have already been identified for additional services, and working IEPs and SSTs provide the push-in and pull-out support that those students need. That is simply not the case at the first grade level. It is a complete disservice to our youngest learners to take them from a half-day kindergarten class of 16 with both a teacher and an aide and place them into a full-day classroom with 32 and 1 teacher. The developmental leap academically, socially, and emotionally is enormous, and the system currently in place does not support it. If we truly believe in early intervention, if we truly believe in equity, if we truly believe in building strong readers from the start, then we must prioritize class size reduction in grades K through 2. The foundation we lay in these years determines everything that follows. Please consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ellen Larson, followed by Kelly Parsons.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Andrus and Maddie, nice to see you here. On the first day of my 5th grade year back in the 60s, my teacher wrote at the top of the chalkboard the quotation, "Every man is the architect of his own destiny." So we discussed it as a class, she explained it, we applied it, and we realized that we have control over our success or failure through our decisions, our actions, and our character. I have remembered that quotation and tried to apply it throughout my life. And as I reflected on Gavin's journey today through MVUSD, this quote came to my memory again. And I've been reflecting on how it also applies to Gavin specifically throughout his high school journey. Gavin's years in high school have not been typical nor what he expected. From failing academically in his first semester of his sophomore year while attending Murrieta Valley High School, to transferring to Murrieta Canyon Academy for the second semester of his sophomore year, he has become the architect of his own destiny. He has learned to orchestrate his educational plan for the remainder of his high school years, develop leadership skills that did not previously exist, become a good public speaker, as I think you've seen, and he's learned to care for others that are sharing his same experience. His leadership skills have blossomed during his time at MCA. He's taken on leadership roles that have been offered to him, including the MCA student representative to the Board of Education, and with the Superintendent Student Advisory Council. He was a member of MCA Student Leadership Group, serving as a student peer counselor, and a member of the Bring Change to Mind Club. He's learned to care for others that have been in his same situation at MCA, and he actually was considering one time becoming a school counselor, returning to MCA to support students that were in the same situation as he was and assist them in their journey to success. I know from personal experience that there are many graduating seniors in this district that have had a high school journey similar to Gavin's. I know that there are hundreds of students, families, teachers, support staff, and administrators who have supported these students to success. And this is a reflection, he is a reflection of what MVUSD is all about, to inspire every student to think, to learn, to achieve, and to care. With my 7 seconds, I want to thank Mr. Bean for all that he's done for Gavin. And I want to tell Gavin how much I love him and appreciate being on this journey with him. Thank you.
All right, Kelly Parsons, followed by Cheryl McNally.
Hello. I am so glad to be here tonight to celebrate last week as Teacher Appreciation Week, and next week we are celebrating CSEA through Classified Staff Appreciation Week. So we're in the sandwich week. I want to shout out Ms. Bowers, our 4th grade teacher, Ms. Eidler for speech therapy, Ms. Hensley for being an incredible case carrier, Ms. McLean helping with the play, Ms. Keck, our classified staff, Ms. Ostrand, Ms. Senev, and on and on and on. Ms. Morale and Mr. Punzel are running an incredible school over at Lisa J. Males. I am so, so thankful that my children get to go to a school that is as powerful and as academically focused as Lisa J. Males. Our teachers are doing incredible work in the classroom, and our classified staff, we cannot do it unless we are doing that together. And one of the ways we can honor both our certificated and our classified staff, these incredible people need buildings and systems that are going to work best for all of us, including our 22,000 students. So one of the things that we can do, I don't have $2 billion to give, although if I did, I would. Somebody put a phone call into Elon and just send the money this way. But one way we can is by sending that bond to the voters so that our community can say, I don't have $1 billion, but I have my vote and I give it to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheryl McNally, followed by Rebecca Al-Jazawi.
Hi, thank you. My name is Cheryl McNally, and this is my 24th year as an RSP teacher. Out of my 24 years as an educator, I've spent 19 of them at Chevella Middle School. At the end of first semester, I spoke with you to advocate for the return of our dedicated IEP testing period during the school day. I explained that I had held 31 IEP meetings and tested 10 students. That was approximately 65 hours of testing, 50 hours writing IEPs, and another 65 hours spent in meetings. That's approximately 30 days. Tonight, I'd like to share what my entire RSP department has experienced from August until March. Please keep in mind the numbers I'm about to share do not include April or May. There are 6 RSP teachers at my site, and together we have spent about 236 hours testing students and another 258 hours in IEP meetings. That's a total of 494 hours. That number does not include the additional responsibilities that comes along with the IEP process, such as writing IEPs, collaborating with teachers and aides, observations, interviews, assessing goals, completing informal assessments, and collecting data. Those 494 hours are approximately 618 collaboration classes missed through March alone. If we had our dedicated IEP testing period this year, those missed classes could have been avoided because our department would have had about 648 periods available for testing, holding meetings, and completing everything else that comes along with the IEP process. By reinstating our IEP testing period, it cost the district nothing. There has been inconsistency in our classrooms because RSP teachers are constantly having to leave classes for meetings and assessments. We have already been informed that next year we will be assessing even more students than we did this year. Best practice is having a dedicated IEP testing period. Without it, we cannot remain consistent in classrooms while meeting the legal demand placed on us. Removing it has increased inconsistency for students as well as increased unpaid overtime for teachers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay. The next speaker is Suzanne Gonzalez. No, Rebecca, I'm sorry. Rebecca, you're up. Sorry. Rebecca,
You're first.
Zowie,
Yes,
followed
Al
by.
Gazawi, thank you. Thank you. I
Followed
have
by
been
Suzanne
in the
Gonzalez.
district for many years. I can't remember exactly how many because I'm just not built that way. However, I have been teaching for 27 years, started off in Texas, taught in Arizona, and I can tell you I am never more prouder to say in my life that I'm a California teacher. I'm a special education teacher. I come to this board today with all my passion and everything that I bring to my school day with my kids. My colleague that just discussed an issue, there's nothing but truth to that. All it does is take away my time from my students when I don't have a designated time to test and to hold meetings. That being said, there's also an issue for next year. There's a proposal that we're going to reduce our instructional staff, our support staff, to 80% rather than 100% of what we have now. So our students will be receiving less support from our instructional assistants who do everything for us that we can't do. When I'm in a meeting, she's my aid's in there. She's my eyes and my ears. She helps communicate with teachers. She brings me back what I need to communicate with parents. And if you reduce her time, she doesn't get paid what she deserves right now. If you reduce her time, she'll look somewhere else. And I'm here to tell you, she did. She's going to Menifee. She's leaving in 2 weeks. Okay, she applied for four different jobs here in the district. I feel like our district doesn't give our people enough opportunity to move up and to stay with this district. Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of people, we're all the same. We love it here. Okay, despite what happens, despite any disagreements, we're still here for the kids, and we want to stay here. And it's why I came to Murrieta. I still feel that way. It is about the children. And I hope it continues to be that way. It seems to be sometimes when I come to board meetings, there's so much contention in the air. But we have to remember, it's not the teachers against the board, it's not the teachers against the superintendents, it's the teachers with the board and the board with the teachers. And you can't leave out my special ed kids. There's a huge movement to include them. Okay, but what does that mean? Nobody sat down and talked to anybody about what that means. So we can't do those things. We can't just say them. You got to support us with them too. Okay? I came from Texas. We're a full inclusion state. I've done it before. You guys can do it. This is a wonderful district. And I'm sure we'll do it. So I'm just encouraging you to support us, especially your redheaded stepchild, the special education department.
Suzanne Gonzalez, followed by Diamanta Casey.
Good evening, board members and district leaders. My name is Suzanne Gonzalez, and I teach English 12 at Vista Murrieta High School. Tonight, I have the privilege of presenting letters in which my students reflect on how they have met the district's expectations through the Murrieta Valley School District Profile of a Graduate. And in doing so, will be earning, not merely receiving, earning their diplomas in a few short weeks from now. These personal declarations describe how students have become academically ready, workplace ready, life ready, and civic minded. They reflect on the skills, experiences, and achievements that have shaped who they are today, the confidence they have developed in preparing for the future, and the impact they strive to make within their communities. Most importantly, they explain why these qualities matter not only for their own success, but for the strength and well-being of society as a whole. I hope these letters, they hope these letters, provide meaningful insight into the voices, growth, and character of the students we are preparing to send into the world. And these letters are for you. Yes, may I approach?
That's awesome. Yeah. Approach the board.
So are these, is it the same stack? Are they different? Or is this one for each of us? We each have our own stack.
Amazing, thank you. Oh, yes. Love this.
They worked long and hard on these letters, and I did tell them not to expect personal replies for at least a week because you're very busy. Yes, yes. So thank you so much. That's what I wanted to
Thank
say.
you.
Thank you. That was really good, actually. Okay. Diamante Casey.
Hi, I'm Diamante Casey, and I'm here as a staff and a parent. I was going to talk a lot about special education, but I feel like a lot of what I wanted to say has already been said, so I don't want to waste time. But I do want to reiterate that with everything that's being said, there's a lot of frustration, I think, on our end about how we can realistically do our jobs and support students with everything that's going on. And so I ask that you consider that as we're prepping, and this year is coming to a close with everything and our planning for next year, because special education problems are not just going to stay in special education. If we don't address them, it's going to spill over into everything else. And as someone already said, we're here for the students. And so that has to be our focus. And if we're not supporting everybody the way that they need to be supported, we can't do that. And I think along those lines, the other thing that I wanted to communicate to you all today is I don't always have a chance to come here in person, but every chance I get, I listen to these online when I'm bathing my babies, making dinner, whatever I'm doing. And so I wanted to gently call out a theme that I've heard echoed repeatedly throughout the year from staff. It doesn't matter if you're classified, certificated, SPED, gen ed, even parents, that we are not feeling valued, appreciated, considered. I think even one of the parents at one of the meetings was like, please don't just listen to all of us and go and make your decision and do what you want to anyway. Really listen, really consider what we have to say. And I think that that's a piece that feels often like it's missing right now in this process, and maybe what has people feeling the way that they are. And people have said that too today. I believe in this district too, but I'm just gonna be honest, and right now, it doesn't feel good. The way that things are going, the way that things are happening, people don't feel supported, people don't feel valued, people don't feel appreciated. And I just encourage you to think about what is the reason behind that? Why are people feeling this way, and what can we do better? Because again, the only people that suffer in that situation are not just us, but the kids too, and that's who we're here for.
Thank you. All right, the next group is where we had 20 plus, which is about the bond issue. So again, I feel comfortable keeping.
So 20 comments at 3 minutes is an hour. So you could change that to a 2-minute comment or a 1-minute comment. And
Let's change it to 2 minutes because I'm going to assume there's going to be a lot of echoing. I want to believe that's going to be the case.
So I think those who are going to make comment, if we just encourage you to trim some things down. And if you've heard it repeated, you don't have to repeat that element again. And so just, do your best to make your point, and the board's ready to listen.
This is from online too. And this is, okay. Okay. Well, let's get started. First up, Carson Cooper or Casper? Cooper, all right. Sorry, that's followed by Desiree Espinoza.
All righty, thank you, good evening. Yeah, my name is Carson Cooper. I am a licensed landscape architect in California and associate at the Southern California-based firm EPT Design. For over 60 years, my firm, as well as our profession, has sought to explore and improve school infrastructure and help shift the paradigm of what a schoolyard should look like for the best health, academic, sociological, and emotional outcomes. I am also a father of 6 kids. I got 2 in Vista, 2 at Warm Springs, and 2 at Buchanan, so I'm a busy dad. As a parent, a taxpayer, and a landscape architect, I have a lot of interest in how my tax dollars are spent and to which causes are most critical to create the environment conducive to higher learning, better behavior, and social growth. Therefore, I'd like to take this brief opportunity to persuade you guys to support the master plan initiative and the bond measure. And although it's great to improve circulation, elevate the amenities, and enhance architecture, the most important thing, in my opinion, is greening schoolyards and bringing nature back into the schoolyards. Transforming traditional asphalt playgrounds and spaces with trees, gardens, nature, play elements, and shaded landscapes has emerged as a powerful strategy for improving children's health, learning, and emotional well-being. Research consistently shows that access to nature during the school day positively influences students' physical activity, cognitive performance, social development, and overall happiness. Studies have found that green schoolyards encourage significantly higher levels of physical activity and social interaction. And these environments help reduce stress, improve emotional regulation, and foster strong peer relationships. So I would like to encourage you to pass the bond measure and pass the initiative, and keep in mind to make sure you involve folks like me in our profession to make sure that the schoolyards and the what's being designed out there is emphasizing landscape. And for the last 5 seconds, please, please, please ban homework on the weekends.
Desiree Espinoza. Followed by Rodney De Leon.
Good evening, President Pardue, Dr. Andrus, and the board. I strongly support placing a bond measure on the upcoming ballot as it provides our community with the opportunity to invest in the modernization and improvement of school facilities. By allowing the community to vote on this bond, you are empowering residents to have a direct say in the future of our schools. If approved by the community, the bond will help ensure that students and educators have access to safe, comfortable, and well-equipped learning environments which are vital to academic achievement and the well-being of future generations. Ensuring that students have a safe and secure environment is fundamental to their ability to learn and grow. The proposed bond is instrumental in making this a reality, as it will provide the resources needed to modernize facilities, address safety concerns, and update infrastructure to meet current standards. A safe setting not only protects students from harm, but also fosters a sense of belonging and peace of mind, allowing them to focus on their studies and reach their fullest potential. By prioritizing safety through this investment, we are making a deliberate choice to nurture our community's future and upholding our collective responsibility to the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. De Leon, followed by Rob Morgan.
Good evening, board members, senior cabinet, district officials, colleagues, school members, and school community. Thanks for the opportunity to speak to you. I'd like to share a moment of reflection that I recently had at Dorothy McElhaney while watching the basketball intramural tournament. Kids are amazing. We have great athletes, dribbling, shooting, and passing. What I also noticed was the impressive indoor climate-controlled gym that Dorothy has that we don't have. And so clean floors, banners hanging. I counted each banner, and I think we have more than you still, but that's okay, you know. But also, just really stood out to me, and a clear reminder how fortunate that Dorothy student, staff, and community has it there. So looking at Thompson's facilities, I want to reinforce that a enclosed gymnasium at Thompson is such a critical part that we have identified as a priority through the master facility plan process. As you know, our physical education program at Thompson is extraordinary. We offer a high level of sports performance, athletic PE. Students are working out, they're working on their speed development, pyrometrics, jump training, explosive strength development, and these students are going to be going on to Murrieta Valley High School quicker, stronger, and faster. So improving our facilities at Thompson will definitely ensure that these programs remain efficient, effective, and accessible year-round. A closed climate-controlled gym would allow us to maintain heat, safety, air quality, equipment protection, and maximize instructional time and be comfortable for our students and staff. So historically, as you know, Thompson produces high student athletes that enter Murrieta Valley High School, and we want to continue to do that and provide that safe learning space for all students and staff. Thank you.
All right, Rob Morgan. I think I got that on. Rob Morgan, followed by Jeremy Murphy.
Good evening. My name is Rob Morgan, and I live here in Murrieta with my wife and our daughter, Audrey, who attends Antelope Hills Elementary School. 4 years ago, we made a decision that changed our family's life. We were living in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we had no plans to leave. But when it came time to think seriously about Audrey's education, we started looking at the schools up there and realized that the public school system where we were wasn't going to work for us. So we did what most parents do these days. We researched online. We pulled up test scores, compared districts, read everything we can find, and looked at the outcomes across the entire state. And every time it brought us back to one place, Murrieta. In fact, Murrieta has some of the best schools in California. And that's not by accident. That's because of teachers who care, administrators who lead, and neighbors, right, who show up every time. So we moved. We came down here. We wanted to be a part of this. We wanted Audrey to be a Murrieta kid. And so the reason why I'm standing here tonight is the bond, put the bond on the November ballot. It's not optional. It's essential. Audrey and every child in this community deserves the schools that match the promise that brought my family here, okay? And sorry, I had a 2.5-minute speech. So look, I mean, the only way that this community is going to show up if you give them the opportunity. So please put it on the ballot. Give us the opportunity. Trust us. We know what we're doing. They show up every time. They show up when they're given that opportunity. So give us that opportunity again. Please put it on the ballot this November. Thank you.
We have Mr. Jeremy Murphy, followed by Bob Cowell.
I appreciate the time. I'm a dad of 3 daughters in the district, and just as I did 2 years ago, I support this bond going to the ballot so we, the people of Murrieta, can finally vote on our own schools. Because 2 years ago, residents were prepared to vote on a lot of these same priorities. Like I have the 2024 project list right here, and when you compare the two lists, the similarities are pretty striking. The fundamental priorities are the same. It's just expanded across more pages and has a larger price tag because of the lost opportunity from 2 years ago. Because Trustee Pardue even voted to approve these projects 2 years ago. But then after all that work, he denied residents the right to vote. And we hear claims that the tax situation would have been worse 2 years ago. But according to the district CFO, the tax rate's not automatic. The actual rate then and now depends on when and how the board chooses to issue a bond series and the district's assessed property value over time. So making a claim that any tax rate, whether 2 years ago or in the future, is automatically a set rate is misleading. I mean, and the district's own financial data from a couple years ago shows favorable conditions. I mean, we had stronger assessed valuation growth and lower delinquency rates, which could have allowed for the same priorities, these priorities, to move forward under comparable tax rates. Instead, 2 years pass, construction costs rise, facilities age, and now the community is being asked to consider a larger bond because Trustee Pardue's vote cost us the opportunity for $99 million in state matching funds. That reality should concern every resident. But not only that, but 2 years ago, the projected total debt service, or the amount paid over the life of the loan, was about $400 million. Today, it's about $700 million. So residents were denied the opportunity to weigh in when the financial obligation was lower than what it is today. I mean, can we afford to ignore residents' voices again? And maybe we will, I don't know. I mean, Trustee Pardue's political group just sent out an email that says, see talking points against the bond, which was followed by a lot of inaccurate information. And this is the same political group whose leader has promoted defunding the schools. So it's clear from this list, priorities haven't changed. After 2 years of rising costs and missed opportunities, maybe we shouldn't rely on politicians and their political groups. Maybe we, the people of Murrieta, deserve a chance to vote. Thanks.
Mr. Bob Cowles, followed by Scott Richards.
Yeah, the reason why last time the bond did not pass was because it didn't meet the Prop 39 issues, 55%. It had no list. That is why the bond was not put on. If you put the bond on there, it had a possibility of a lawsuit to take that bond off, and you would have lost money in that lawsuit. Anyway, I had a long list here of things. I only got 1 minute and 35 seconds, but does this bond language include the minimum information to inform the public of the interest rate and the period of the loan, such as the interest rate is 4% over 30 years, and the total cost of the taxpayer is $714 million. That's after 30 years. I had a question on trusting what's in the bond as far as the money goes, because I had, we had trust in the fact that everything we buy is in good faith. When we actually tried to buy a piece of property for $9 million when it was only worth $3 million, and we went through the process of buying that was fraud. So you have to look at that. Also, everything's increasing. And so when you have an increasing in everything, you include this bond in, and it still stays the same. Even if it does still stay the same, the cost of everything else is going up. Electric bills increase, according to the recent information, is 9% annually due to wildfire mitigation and infrastructure and load growth. Water bills are average of 8.2% water increase. California has misspent billions on fraud, waste, and that we need to pay eventually. I don't have much time here, but the reason this place is great is because it started out with conservatives, Christians. This was known as the Christian Belt. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Scott Richards, followed by Albert Bader.
Well, thank you, President Pardue, board members. Hi, Maddie, and Dr. Andrus, for allowing me a few moments to speak tonight. I want to thank you for the continued work and conversations surrounding the facility bond measure. I feel incredibly blessed not only to work here in Murrieta, but to live in the same community where I've built my entire career. Since 2003, I've had the opportunity to work at all 3 of our comprehensive high schools, along with Thompson Middle School, which gives me a unique lens as both an educator and community member who has seen firsthand the evolution and the aging of our school facilities over time. Over the years, I've taught science and coached girls basketball at Murrieta Valley. I've served as an assistant principal at Thompson Middle School and Murrieta Mesa, worked as a deputy principal at Vista Murrieta High School, and now have the honor of serving as principal at Murrieta Mesa High School. I still remember walking into the science wing at Murrieta Valley years ago as my first day on the teaching job and seeing the black lacquer on the built-in lab tables peeling away and breaking apart. Even back then, many of our facilities were already showing significant wear and tear. And by the way, those same tables are still there. Fast forward to today, and while Murrieta Mesa is our newest comprehensive high school, it is now 17 years old and also has areas of need for repair and modernization. Our students deserve safe, updated, and innovative learning environments. But beyond repairs, this is also about opportunity. As educators, our responsibility is to prepare students for success after high school, whether that's a path through college, the military, or directly into our workforce. One of my personal hopes is that someday we're able to build a welding shop at Murrieta Mesa's campus. Skilled trades like welding or culinary like you saw here earlier are high demand, high wage career pathways that can provide incredible futures for our students. And I would love to see us continuing to expand these types of opportunities district-wide. At the end of the day, my hope, like many others in our community, is simply that our community has the opportunity to vote on the board, measure, and have their voices heard. Thank you.
I hope I said that right. Is Albert Bader?
Yes, that's right.
All right, followed by Celeste Scallion.
Hi. Thank you, members of the board. I'm here to speak in support of the bond measure. I'm just going to speak off the cuff here just to go real quick. When I first walked into my kids' elementary school, kindergarten, and first grade, so I've got a long-term investment here, I was hit by just a huge nostalgia bomb. It reminded me so much of my elementary school that I went to. I felt so fond about it. But then I realized that was 40 years ago. And over the last 3 years, those 40 years have really sunk in. I see kids sitting on wet, dirty grass, doing the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning, and then they have to spend the rest of their day wet. I mean, you wouldn't want to do that. Kids have to walk off campus to go catch the bus. That's not safe, especially for elementary school children. There's numerous issues like this. There's temporary buildings that have outlived or are older than their intended lifespan that we have TK children in, we have special ed in. These are some of the most precious kids in our district, and we have them in essentially sheds. I mean, we can do better, right? With all the money that we spend everywhere else, we're asking for a bond here that essentially would replace another bond that is expiring. And also in a period of declining enrollment and increasing competition in the form of charter schools, home schools, private schools, this is not the time to not invest in ourselves and attract parents and students into the district. It'll just, if we just allow our schools to deteriorate, we're going to see our property values fall. We're going to see student enrollment fall even further. And thank you for my time.
Well, we have the Vista Murrieta principal followed by the Murrieta Valley High School principal, just so you guys know the order. There you go.
Good evening, Board President Pardue, Board Members Briggs, Schmidt, and Young, and Superintendent Dr. Andrus and Maddie. Thank you for your continued service, leadership, and support of the students, staff, and families of the Murrieta Valley Unified School District. As a principal in our district, I'm here to acknowledge the incredible amount of time and care you have invested in the facilities master planning process. From campus visits to town halls, parent meetings, community conversations, surveys, and priority setting, you have taken the time to listen, learn, and understand the needs across our district. Tonight, I respectfully ask that you strongly consider voting to place this bond measure on the upcoming ballot, giving our community the opportunity to have a voice in the future of our schools and the investment in our students. Every campus throughout our district tells a story. But speaking from the lens of Vista Murrieta High School, we are proud to be a vibrant, active, 7-day-a-week campus. Anyone driving down Clinton Keith will see our fields lit, our parking lots full, and our campus alive with students, activities, athletics, performance, civic center use, and community events. Each day we serve nearly 3,400 students on a campus originally designed to support 1,800. Over the last 23 years, our buildings and facilities have served our students, but they also have experienced natural wear and tear that comes with being a highly used and deeply loved campus. Just yesterday, we experienced an unexpected electrical issue that caused a full power outage followed by intermittent blackouts throughout the day. While we managed to respond and continue to serve students, it was a clear reminder that even when buildings look fine on the outside, aging systems require attention, modernization, and thoughtful investment. Our students deserve and our parents expect learning spaces that support today's needs and tomorrow's opportunities, including stronger classrooms and facilities that help our students become academically ready, workplace ready, life ready, and civic minded. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Deephouse is followed by Holly Siebenauer.
Good evening, President Pardue, board members, superintendent, and community. I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude for your leadership, vision, and commitment to our district. Thank you for your time, collaboration, and thoughtful consideration that has brought us to this point in developing both a comprehensive facilities master plan and set a clear set of priorities. This work matters deeply and does not go unnoticed. As principal of Murrieta Valley High School, I've had the privilege of serving our community for the past 13 years. During that time, I've watched generations of students grow, succeed, and contribute to something larger than themselves. I've seen firsthand what makes our school so special, the dedication of our teachers, the resilience of our students, and the unwavering support of our staff and families. At the same time, I've also seen the growing gap between the excellence of our people and the limitations of our facilities. Over these 13 years, the only major upgrade our campus has experienced has been the technology improvements made possible by the prior bond. These updates made a meaningful difference, and we're grateful for them. However, beyond that, many of our core facilities have remained unchanged, even as the demands of education have evolved significantly. Today, our students are preparing for a world that requires collaboration, innovation, and access to modern learning environments. Our co-curricular programs from athletics to arts continue to achieve at high levels, often despite working within facilities that were not designed for our current needs. Our staff works tirelessly to bridge the gap, but there's only so much that can be done without the proper infrastructure. Simply put, our students, faculty, and staff deserve facilities that match their effort, their talent, and their potential. My hope moving forward is that we can take the next step together by placing a bond on the ballot. This would give our community the opportunity to invest in the future of Murrieta Valley High School and the students we serve every day. With those resources, we can modernize classrooms, upgrade essential systems, enhance safety, and expand opportunities for both academic and curricular programs. Thank you.
All right, Mrs. Siebenauer, followed by Rita Logan.
Good evening, board members. I stand before you tonight not only as a parent of 2 children currently enrolled in this district, but as a proud Murrieta Valley Unified alumni who attended these schools from kindergarten through 12th grade. When it came time for my family to buy a home, we intentionally chose to move from Orange County back to Murrieta because of the quality and the reputation of our schools. Murrieta is one of the few places left in Southern California where schools and relative housing affordability still go hand in hand. Families move here because they believe in this district. Investing in our schools is investing in our children's futures, our community, and the long-term strength of our property values. What really stands out to me is that from 1989 to 2002, much of my own education took place in portable classrooms that are still being used today. I was part of the first graduating class at Rail Ranch to go K through 5 as the school transitioned from portables to permanent buildings. I attended Chavela while the permanent campus was still being completed, and I graduated from Murrieta Valley High School in 2002 in a class of 635 students that utilized many portables in the upper parking lot that are still there today. And now, almost 25 years later, many students are still learning in those same temporary buildings. We cannot ignore the visible deterioration happening in some of our older campuses. Parents are concerned about campus conditions. Students are attending PE in extreme heat and gyms without air conditioning. And some campuses still struggle with aging infrastructure that no longer reflects the level of excellence this district is known for. Tonight, we have a rare and important opportunity to place this bond on the ballot without increasing taxes. If not now, when? What will this look like years from now when these problems are even more expensive to solve? This is not just about buildings, it's about whether we continue investing in the district that help make Murrieta the community that families want to live in. I respectfully ask for your vote of allowing the community the opportunity to support our schools and invest in the future of Murrieta. Thank you for your time and your dedication to our students.
Rita Logan, followed by Addie And I had to say this before, Abby, you know who you are.
Good evening, everyone. Please forgive me because I came to be supportive, and this is just really amazing. You guys are all really amazing people. I'm a legacy student of Murrieta Valley. I graduated from Murrieta Valley High School in 2001. I attended Cervelo Middle School when we shared our campus with Thompson, so I am a child of this, but I just have a very quick statement that I prepared because this is just amazing, like I said. Good evening. My name is Rita, and I am a parent at Antelope Hills Elementary. I'm here to support placing the facilities bond on the ballot so our community has the opportunity to vote on it. I appreciate the focus on maintaining schools and improving facilities for students. Thank you for your time and service. Thank you.
Thank you. That was so nice. That was wonderful. Followed by Elliot Emmer.
Good evening, Board, Dr. Andrus, Maddie, and other representatives of the district. My name is Dr. Adi Abishushe. I'm a parent of two forces of nature, Maxine and Thomas at Antelope Hills Elementary, and I also serve as Site Council Advisory Committee member. Last year, I served on the Redistricting Committee. In my personal and professional time, however, I'm an environmental healthcare researcher, and I study how physical environments influence people's well-being and performance. We build our buildings, and thereafter, they build us. They are our most obvious and enduring expressions of our values and priorities. I respectfully ask that the board take the step to allow our community the opportunity to participate in this decision. Thank you.
Okay, next up is Elliot Emmer, followed by Jack Guerrero.
Thank you, President Perdue, members of the board, Dr. Andrews. I rise today as a parent of two children in our district, one in transitional kindergarten and another in 4th grade, shout out to Rail Ranch, to speak in favor of the bond measure being voted on today. Both of my kids started school in the exact same classroom 5 years apart. It's something that is special to them, a shared bond they'll remember for the rest of their lives. But we must be honest about the setting of that memory. It's an aging portable in a parking lot. Our students are doing incredible work, but they are doing it in facilities that require maintenance and upgrades. If we don't approve this bond to go to the voters in November, we are guaranteeing the inevitable. We are ensuring that the costs of these infrastructure projects will eventually come out of our general fund. When we pull from the general fund, it means our own students and children will bear the costs. Maybe I'm old school, but it's my belief that the adults should always cover the costs, not the children. Today, I'm reminded of a famous document written about 240 years ago that begins with, "We the people." Well, we the people of Murrieta want to vote. We the people of Murrieta want our voices heard in November. And we the people will be the ones to decide if this bond measure is approved. Members of the board, I'm asking for your vote today to move this measure to the ballot and let we the people of Murrieta decide its ultimate fate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker is Jack Guerrero. Did you do her? Okay. Followed by Rehana Farzin. Did I say it correctly? If I did not, I apologize.
Okay. Good evening, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your interest in addressing the facility's needs, and of course, all of the very poignant comments from the public. That's all very nice. But you're on the cusp of putting ballot language and voting on that today, and I'm afraid that the current version is woefully inadequate. As I mentioned at the last meeting, we have to be absolutely transparent when it comes to the ballot language. There are no more important 75 words in the entire agenda packet than the ballot statement, because everybody that votes will see those 75 words. There are ancillary documents that will accompany the sample ballot, like the tax statement and impartial analysis, but very few people read those documents, and they don't appear on the ballot itself. I am concerned with the 75 words that will accompany the yes, no designation, either on the screen when you vote in person or on paper, the bubbles that say yes or no. Right next to those options, you'll have the 75 words. And right now, there are only two significant financial points that are encompassed therein. One is the reference to $360 million bond issuance, and the other is to the $60 levy per $100,000 of assessed value. Conspicuously missing from the 75 words is the total debt service, principal plus interest, of $714 million, nearly double the size of the entire bond issuance, the implied interest rate, the duration of the bond, and the tax collection, currently estimated through the year 2059, over 30 years of burden on taxpayers in this community. All of that needs to be properly disclosed. I think you have time to get it right. The statutory requirement is 88 days before the election, or August 7th. Please go back to the drawing board and get the language correctly, transparently, for the benefit of this community. Thank you.
Julia, wait, no. You said it. This is what happens when we transition. Is Rayhane
That's
Farzan.
right, Rayhana.
Rayhan, I'm sorry, thank you.
Followed by
You said it right.
Julia. Okay.
Good evening, board members. My name is Rayhana Farzin, and I'm a proud parent of a second grader at Antelope Hills and a community member in the Murrieta Valley Unified School District. I'm here tonight to respectfully encourage the board to approve placing a facilities improvement bond on the ballot so our community has the opportunity to vote on it. As parents, residents, and taxpayers, we all want our students to learn in a safe, updated, and inspiring environment. While our district has done an incredible job over the years, many of our schools are facing the reality of aging buildings, outdated systems, and equipment that will eventually need repair or replacement. These are not luxury upgrades. They are long-term investment in the places where our children spend most of their days. Our schools are one of the most important investments we make as a community. When we invest in our schools, we are investing in the future of our entire community. So once again, I respectfully ask the board to move this forward and give our community the opportunity to vote on the future of our schools. Thank you so much for your time, for your leadership, and your continued dedication to our students and families.
Thank you. All right, Julia, followed by Kathy Wood from Avaha.
Okay, I have a question. Everything that I had to say about the bond, it's been spoken, but I have something else. Am I allowed to speak on it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys. I am currently a CSEA union rep at Monte Vista. Hello. I didn't know my boss was going to be here, so I'm a little bit more nervous than usual. I decided to get involved with my CSEA union, and I have to tell you, they're amazing people. They're working their rear ends off trying to do the right thing, and it's a thankless job. Last year is when I decided I was going to get involved because I didn't really like the way things were going. And I support them, I support what they're doing, but I just need to say that I do not support Elliot Emmer, and I would not support anyone. I do not believe that politics belong in my union at all. I know that we go and we had a vote to decide, and you know what, you are such an amazing person. It has nothing to do with you. I'm not saying I wouldn't vote.
Let's just stay within
Okay.
the CSEA realm there with what you wanted to say there.
Well, I might vote for him. I'm not saying that. I
Wait,
just think
what we're
no
getting at is-
politics belong in my union.
That was kind
And
of,
that is what I want to say. It is causing a division. That's all. There are plenty of people that don't have the same views. It needs to stay out of our schools. We can work on things in a different way. We can be there for our kids. Politics do not belong in our schools at all.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Pardue, I'll address that in my board report.
Okay.
I'll address that comment.
Okay. Okay, next up we have Kathy Wood, followed by Chris Tomasi.
Good evening. I just trimmed some sentences, so hopefully it's coherent. My name is Katie Wood, and I'm the proud principal at Avaha Elementary. Tonight, I'm here to speak on behalf of the students, families, and staff at our school to respectfully ask that you place the proposed school facilities bond on the November ballot so that our community can decide. Avaha, as you know, is one of the oldest elementary schools in our district, and I've had the privilege of serving as principal for the past 3 years. During that time, I've listened closely to our families, staff, and students, and one message is consistent: our campus feels its age. Several of you have visited Avaha and seen this firsthand, particularly our lack of appropriate indoor space on days when weather makes outdoor recess unsafe. On extremely hot or rainy days, we simply don't have facilities that fully support safe supervision and continued learning. Many of the concerns raised by our community are structural and long-term. Compared to newer elementary schools in our district, our facilities are not comparable, especially in safety, functionality, and campus flow. We need safer parking, traffic circulation, and a defined drop-off loop, and a safe path to the front entrance. Our front office also needs to reflect modern safety expectations with appropriate space for visitor check-in and private family collaboration. But safety is another major concern. Currently, many bus riding students must walk off campus into a nearby neighborhood to board their bus. From a student safety standpoint, that is very concerning. Our Friday flag assemblies, which are central to our positive school culture, take place on damp or muddy grass with an outdated PA system. We're also in need of replacement for our classrooms, as others have said, for our TK students and our youngest learners and those with specialized needs. I appreciate the transparent and thorough work reflected in the facilities master plan. Our needs are accurately represented. And tonight, I'm not asking you to pass a bond. I'm just simply asking for you to put it to the community to make a vote. Placing this measure on the ballot is not a commitment to an outcome. It's a commitment to process, trust, and community voice. Thank you for your time.
All right, Chris Tomasi is followed by Phil Norton.
Before my 2 minutes start, I have a point of information. As a 21-year-old board member and numerous years as president, political speeches are not allowed, campaigning is not allowed, and it is up to the president, Mr. Pardue, to stop that. That is your responsibility.
We did, thank you.
And if you don't know your job, CSBA offers numerous training courses.
Ms. Tomasi, would you like to speak to the topic? Because
I
otherwise
will.
we're going down a political
I will.
alley yourself.
I
So
will.
please stick to your topic.
I
Thank
was
you.
offering you a point of information since
I
you seem
appreciate
not
it.
to
We can always
understand
talk
your
anytime.
job.
Thank you.
Okay, you can start my 2 minutes. One of the reasons my family moved to Murrieta in 91 was affordable housing. I was able to be a stay-at-home mom for a while. I quickly got involved in my children's school. My stepdaughter was at Chevala, which was all portables. Jennifer was at Curran, also all portables. Baby Elizabeth hadn't started school, but I and many others wanted more for our children than just portables and dirt. We worked hard to pass bonds, but they kept failing. The district had to continue to spend money on portables, knowing they eventually would be replaced with permanent classrooms when funding became available. Many of those portables are still in use 30 years later. Why didn't the district have enough money to replace them? In the 90s and early 2000s, our population was growing exponentially. Once the voters finally approved a bond in 98, the district was building a school a year and no money was available to replace portables. I served as the chair of the first bond advisory committee formed to oversee spending on the 98 bond. Then, as a school board member, I helped manage the 4 bonds that were approved while I was on the board. Finally, growth in the district has slowed, and our community has the opportunity to replace those 30-year-old portable classrooms. I served on the Community Facilities Advisory Committee this past year, so I had an opportunity to see firsthand the effort that went into analyzing the district facilities needs and determination of the district to share information and obtain feedback from as many community members as possible. Dr. Andrus, Mr. Daniel, district staff, and the district consultants did a fantastic job of including community input in the development of this bond package. I urge the board to place this bond on the ballot and let the voters decide the outcome. That's democracy.
All right, Mr. Norton is followed by a couple of online comments that will follow.
All right. Good evening, President Pardue, members of the board, Superintendent Andrus. My name is Phil Norton. I'm the proud principal of Buchanan Elementary School. My family and I moved to Murrieta in 2015 for the schools. And since then, I've been nothing but impressed with all the things that we've been able to accomplish as a school district. I think in terms of our academics, our athletics, and the programs that we offer, we stand above every district nearby in the state of California, in the county of Riverside. I'm a little biased, but I think it's the truth. And the truth is we do that despite receiving fewer federal dollars than almost every single one of our neighboring cities. And I think that's a testament to our students, our community, every single member of our district staff. So honestly, that is the reason why I'm here. The truth is time is relentless. It wears down everyone and everything. My school is in a unique position in that in the next decade, we're actually slated to grow after the redistricting. So I look at my school and more than half of my buildings are portables. And those portables, they're rough. They're falling apart. My students have a game where they walk up the ramps and they jump to see if they can scare the teachers on the inside on their way up. And it often works. You know, the pressing need was shown and demonstrated by the process that we took through this facilities master plan, the amount of input that we received. I personally was involved in seven different meetings over the course of the last 8 months or so, and my community is excited. I have people asking me, so you asked us about all these things, when are we getting that new double-story building? When are we gonna get that parking lot? And if any of you have been to Buchanan, you've probably walked the 4 blocks to get to my school because we have no parking. I think there's 17 spaces total on my campus. And so, honestly, I think the bond measure would allow our community to allow our schools to get to allow our families to have the feedback that they deserve. And I think bringing our school system to match the level of our community is all that we're asking. And I think giving the community the opportunity is what I'm asking for. So thank you. Have a great night.
How many comments do we have? 4? So we have 4 online and 4 left.
Okay, so we have 4 online comments. The first, and I apologize in advance if I mess up your last name, Jennifer Uetz. Hello, board members. I'm a parent / community member in this district. I'm also involved in the community as PTA member and parent volunteer in the classroom. I am writing to express my support for placing the facilities improvement bond on the ballot so that our community has the opportunity to vote on it. We ultimately moved to this area and purchased a home due to the outstanding reputation of the school district. As a parent, I care deeply about maintaining safe, functional, and up-to-date learning environments for our students. I appreciate that this bond focuses on maintaining and replacing aging equipment, upgrading classrooms and campuses, and planning for long-term needs in our ever-growing community. I respectfully ask the board to approve placing the bond on the ballot because this is a decision that should be made by the voters. Placing this bond on the ballot allows families and the community to review the details and make an informed choice together. Thank you for your time and for your service to our students, schools, and community as a whole. Do you want to read yours?
Okay, I have one from Ron Holiday. Hi, I'm Ron Holiday, Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Murrieta. I am not speaking today on behalf of the city, but rather as a resident of Murrieta. I want to thank Superintendent Dr. Andrus, Deputy Superintendent Daniel for the thorough work that they have done on this bond presentation. They took the time to meet with each of the Murrieta City Council members, presenting the facts related to this item. Since I have been elected and have supported a better relationship between the school district and Murrieta City, their response has been phenomenal. The relationship between the two have never been better. I want to personally thank them for including City Council on this issue. As an investment advisor for the last 30 years, I enjoy putting together a financial plan that supports long-term goals. After reviewing their presentation, I support this plan 100%. Murrieta school facilities need to be improved, not just with ongoing maintenance, but with technological improvements so our kids can be competitive in their future endeavors. This proposal accomplishes that. The best part is that it doesn't raise taxes to do so. It maintains the current funding level previously approved by voters. My children have attended Murrieta schools, as have my grandchildren, and I want Murrieta schools to be the best when my great-grandchildren attend in the future. Thank you for your consideration. Ron Holiday, Mayor Pro Tem, City of Murrieta.
Okay, our next online comment is from Ebony Stone. Please approve the bond so that our community can have the opportunity to vote on it. As a parent at Antelope Hills Elementary and Chavela Middle School, I'm writing to express my unwavering support for placing the facilities bond on the ballot. Our priority should be to maintain and improve our schools, providing our students with better facilities. This includes replacing the old, aging portables with permanent classrooms. Thank you for your time and service. And our last comment is from Brooke Lecterich. Hello, MVUSD board members. I urge you to approve the proposed bond measure that would allow much-needed improvements and updates to our schools. As a parent of two daughters who attend Antelope Hills Elementary School and Dorothy McElhaney Middle School, I see firsthand the areas where physical improvements are needed to ensure the long-term safety, functionality, and success of these campuses. Murrieta has many wonderful qualities, but one of the greatest strengths of our community is the quality of our schools. In order to preserve that excellence, we must invest in our educational facilities so that our students have the safe, modern, and supportive learning environments they deserve. Approving this bond is an investment not only in our schools, but in the future of our children and our community as a whole. Thank you for your time and dedication to MVUSD students and families.
And that's it, huh? All right, next up, we have item E3, which is employee organizations reports. Freddie Musquez, president of CSEA.
All right. Good evening, President Pardue, members of the board, Dr. Andrus. I continue to emphasize the importance of recognizing and supporting our classified staff, whose contributions are essential to the daily operations and success of our schools. Classified employees play a crucial role in creating safe, clean, and welcoming learning environments for over 21,000 students and 2,000 plus staff members. Despite their importance, classified staff are frequently under-recognized and face ongoing challenges such as heavy workloads, insufficient staffing, and compensation that doesn't always reflect their contributions. These issues affect morale, retention, and ultimately the quality of support our schools can provide. I respectfully ask the board to continue supporting fair and competitive wages and benefits for all classified employees, ensure adequate staffing levels to prevent burnout and maintain safe campuses, include classified staff in decisions that impact their work and listen to their concerns, and recognize and celebrate their contributions to our school community. Investing in classified staff is an investment in student success. To my classified staff, I wanted to take a moment and recognize and thank you for the essential work that you do every single day. Whether you're keeping our campuses clean, safe, supporting students in the classroom, feeding students, assisting families in the front office, transporting students to and from school, or maintaining our facilities, your contributions do not go unnoticed. You are the backbone of our schools. The work you do creates an environment where students can learn, teachers can teach, and families can feel welcome. Even when the job is demanding and sometimes underappreciated, your dedication shows in the pride you take in your work. I know the challenges are real, but your commitment to showing up and doing your best makes a meaningful difference in the lives of our students every day. Your executive board thanks you for the care and professionalism you continue to bring to work every day. Before I end, I'd like to send a shout out to Mr. James Juco, day custodian at Chavela, who was announced as the District Classified Employee of the Year yesterday. Congratulations, James. And so I appreciate the districts including CSEA in that presentation. So thank you.
All right, next we have Lisa Murray, President of MEA.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Before I start, Mr. Norton and I taught at Buchanan from 2005 until 2011, and I taught fourth grade in one of those portables, and the students were doing that jumping on the ramps back then, so I remember. It's been a busy month. Lots of things going on. I went to the Crystal Apple Awards at the LDS Church. We truly appreciate their constant support of public education. I'm going to go really fast, sorry. Student of the Month breakfast, where we had an avocado toast bar by the Murrieta Mesa Culinary Arts program, which was the best thing in the world. I'm telling you right now if you missed it. We did the community cleanup. We got 22 large bags of trash. Thank you to the Rotary Club members, the MEA members who participated, Dr. Andrus, Mrs. Briggs, Jeremy Murphy, who's here in the audience, for helping with this effort to keep this beautiful city clean. I went to Dollars for Scholars. MEA presented 19 $250 scholarships to members' children who are graduating from Murrieta High Schools this year. I was able to attend the middle school robotics intramural at Chavela for the first time, which was very cool. I still don't understand it, but it was really cool. We had our MEA e-board retreat a couple weeks ago where we made plans and set goals for next year. We hosted our member appreciation event last Monday. Over 100 members. We had tacos, raffle prizes, and chair massages from our community partner Massage Lux, which is opening soon. I went to the Celebrating Educators Luncheon at the Riverside Convention Center, where amazing educators from our district and all around the county were celebrated. I attended the DLAC reclassification celebration, which was really, really a cool event that I'd never been to before. 190 of our EL students who have now reclassified to, I believe it's RFEP now. Jamie will correct me if I'm wrong. I went to the MVUSD Art Walk at Murrieta Market Night last week. I saw Mrs. Briggs there. Amazing artists. I cannot believe how amazing our students are and the teachers who encourage their talents. So unbelievable. I did site visits at Warm Springs and Tovashal. Just have Murrieta Mesa left this year. That's coming up next week. And I was also able to go with the district admin team to present the District Teachers of the Year awards on Monday at MCA, McElhaney, and Buchanan. I don't want to ruin those announcements in case somebody else is doing them, but those were the sites we went to.
Do you want to do it? Are you ready?
Yes.
Go. Because I have the names here. If you
drawing a blank for a second, though.
I can do it if you don't.
Yes, I'll let you do it.
Okay.
I don't want to.
We're excited about our Teachers of the Year.
Good. I'm looking forward to stopping by the career fair at Avaha tomorrow and checking out the benefits fair at Chavela. Encourage all of our members and CSEA members to go to that. We also have our CTA WHO Awards. WHO stands for We Honor Ours. Those are this Friday, where 3 of our outstanding site reps will be honored: Nicole Chesler from Vista, Christy May from EHAL Curran, and Priscilla Martinez from ELC. Priscilla's here tonight. On a personal note, my daughter is graduating summa cum laude from University of Arizona with a business marketing degree on Friday. And she has a job as an assistant director of operations for Arizona Athletics beginning June 1st. She's off my payroll. And so I'll be out for the next couple of days for that. On another note, a little more serious note, I saw something that was sent out from a particular community group to its members earlier today that was full of misinformation, but I'm going to focus on one, and I quote, "A teacher's income has risen roughly 100%. I'm not sure who that lucky teacher is, but in Murrieta, our teacher salaries, these teacher salaries, have increased by 38% since 2013. That's accurate information, which is right on par with California's cost of living adjustments in the same time period. Almost exactly the same as the cost of living adjustments in California. Not 100%. That's a quite extreme bit of misinformation that's being spread to the public by this particular group. So I encourage the community and this board to do your own research rather than listening to false narratives spread by extremist groups who, for some reason, aim to destroy our amazing Murrieta Public Schools. I ask you to please do the right thing tonight and adopt the resolution to authorize the bond measure to be placed on the November ballot and let the citizens of Murrieta decide. Thank you.
All right, next we have the superintendent's report. Dr. Andrews.
Thanks for the time. And I know we have a lot of people in the audience. You're really excited about some action items, so I encourage all of us to keep our reports short and sweet if we can. First, I want to address the public comment about political activities. Some of us call this time silly season. Other people call it campaign season. Things can get a little silly. Just to clarify, associations, they can determine who they want to support. That work has to be done outside the school day, has to be done not during work time. There's all kinds of rules around that. And our association leaders, they know and follow those rules. And so we appreciate that. Sometimes associations or groups may choose someone who you don't like. And that's the prerogative of the whole association, even though you may have a different political interest. And so that's what makes our country great, is that we get to all participate, we get a chance to have a voice. This is democracy. This is what our founding fathers wanted us to have, is people have a voice. And so even tonight is an example of that. The process of making a comment during a public comment here, yes, we shouldn't be doing political activities in a public comment here. I think it's the hope of the board that the person can self-correct, but also we know that individuals making public comment, they don't necessarily know all the rules. And so we are hopeful they can do that, or the public comment stays back on track, but it doesn't always. And that's when a correction may come in. And people shouldn't get mad when they're corrected, because we're all learning, right? We're all learning something. And so there's more of that to come out. If any of you are political, have political aspirations, let us know. We'll be happy to help guide you in what you can and cannot do on a public school setting. Teachers of the Year. Yes, this was wonderful. Elementary, I don't think they're all here. They're of course not here. Allison Therion from Buchanan Elementary School for our elementary. Heather McCarthy, Resource Specialist at Dorothy McElhaney. Oh, Heather? Heather's here? No? She doesn't want to stand? Okay. Oh, she left. Oh, darn. Okay. Might have been the IEP writing. I should have said that. Anthony Albert, math teacher at MCA. But while we're on that, we'll talk about a few other district-wide classified employees of the year. Freddie mentioned James Juco, custodian at Chevala Middle School. Principal of the year, Celeste Scallion from Vista Murrieta. She's over there. Our assistant principal, Denise Peterson from Chevala. Counselor of the year, Christy Wood from Warm Springs Middle School. We have a confidential manager, and for those who don't know what a confidential employee is, it is a classified position, but it's literally handles confidential information. And so our confidential manager is Amanda Sell from Human Resources. Our classified manager of the year, Sean Jackson out of Maintenance. He and I were at Vista last night at about 8:30 looking at a giant generator that arrived at Vista. So he was working, that was a long day. I hope he slept at some point in time. Our certificated manager of the year, he's here, Ryan Tukwa. So we quickly approach the last day. This is our last board meeting until after graduations. We don't have another one. It's always amazing how quick the year goes, right? But this is also, May is a fabulous time of the year. Yes, there's all kinds of pressure about all the events and the AP testing and the end of the year assessments and all the things that occur. Even as I was talking, we were awarding Allison, she was off to a class building meeting with her peers about who's going to which classrooms next year and all of that work. We do get to celebrate all of our employees, Principal of the Year, Assistant Principal of the Year, Counselors Week, our Counselors Day, and our Teachers Appreciation Week, and our Classified Week. There is not a Board Member Appreciation Week nor Superintendent. I just want to let you know, there aren't any of those. So just, that's how it goes. So we celebrate that, and we do thank you. And I will say this, we will never, ever be able to afford to pay what you're worth. That you can't put a price tag on that. How do you put a dollar amount on changing someone's life for the better? Times 30 or 170 at a time for 30 years. How do you do the math on that? We can never afford to pay you what you do. We'll just pay you as much as we can so that we can keep everybody paid and the lights on and repair the whatever that just broke, right? We will continue to do that and work to our very best to support you. So I understand it's a thankless job, but we do thank you. I'm very proud of the work this district has done completing the facilities master plan. It's been both a very time-intensive and fiscally, we've spent a lot of dollars on our consultants and the folks who did the work on that study and develop what we have online where anyone in the world or our community can go online, see a school, see the projects, and see the estimated dollar amount of what it may take to do that. I've never seen that before. I know it's been done elsewhere because this group has done it for other people. We've never had it. And so I'm glad we did the work and invested the time and resource to make that happen. Now we can all see what we need and what it's going to cost. And so I appreciate that. And to bring both, and then study a bond structured so that the tax rate does not increase to our taxpayers, because I'm a homeowner taxpayer and not been here for like 20 years more recently, so my tax rate is a little different than someone who's been around for a while. But in a way that allows our schools to proceed and get the things that it needs just to continue on and move forward in good repair and finally make some improvements so we can get, so no one has to repeat the portable experience for their children again, the same ones they were in, right? It's time to make those happen. And that's all been done that way, so I appreciate all the work that's gone into it. President Pardue, this concludes my comments.
Excellent, thank you. All right, now time for board member reports. First up is Ms. Bishop.
Hello, thanks for having me today. Sorry for being gone a lot. My game days have been on Tuesdays, so I haven't been able to come. But we have had, well, there's a lot going on with the end of the school year. We have AP testing, CAS testing. We have lots of athletic teams on their way to CIF, making their CIF runs. But for the events I've attended for the past couple months, I was able to go to the Special Olympic Unified Track Meet, which is an amazing event if you've never been. I got to run a booth with some of my teammates, and it was really cool for everyone involved. I saw a couple of our board members there, so that was fun. I attended the Senior of the Month breakfast for April, so that was really cool and cool to see all the stories of the students that are working so hard. I attended the Crystal Apple Awards, which was awesome to recognize our teachers and our staff members across the district who are doing great things for students. And also the Dollars for Scholars event, which I knew it was a thing, but I had never been or really known just how much is given at that event. So that was really awesome. I was able to receive a couple scholarships there, so that was really cool to be a part of and to see how generous our community is and their support for the students. So we had a couple superintendent council meetings, student council meetings over the past couple months. And our most recent one, we answered some questions from our adults about different things from a student perspective, like cell phone use in classrooms, what stressors students have, about student-teacher relationships, social media in school, things like that. We got really good feedback and about the challenges and also what's going well for education for our students. Let's see. We did also have our meeting on the master plan to get the students' perspective on the facilities plan. Everyone was really excited for all the upcoming potential projects that can happen, and we're very excited to add our own. And so that was really cool to see everyone so passionate about something that won't even affect them, probably more like the younger generations coming up. Let's see. I think overall the students seemed like they were excited about the updates, and it seems like putting this bond will at least give our community the option to help our schools. But feel like that was really long, but that concludes my comment.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go first just because there's so many people here, and I know you guys are anxious to get to the comments about the bond. I generally like to try to address what people have had to say, but we'll get there. Let's talk about Crystal Apple Award. I love seeing the teachers getting recognized. It's great that it's so broad. So many teachers are invited up, and that we're impacting students' lives in a positive is really good to see, and that teachers are being recognized that way. So I appreciate the Church of Latter-day Saints for doing that for us. I did get a chance to visit Mr. Bean's MCA, and I really enjoyed that. And the family environment at your site is amazing, and what the students are doing and what they've been able to achieve. And you can tell it's a place that students enjoy going. So I thought that was a great visit. And again, I got to keep it short. I got a lot more great things to say there. And then Ms. Scallion, of course, being a parent of Nighthawks, and of course my wife works there as well. I really enjoyed that trip. It was a great trip. You have a wonderful school. I always enjoy being able to get out and see the school sites. And again, I talked about the culture that I saw at your school. And even when things weren't going exactly perfectly right, to see your staff respond so well and professionally, to see happy students, to get to meet the ASB leadership, I think his name was it Noah? Am I right? It was really fabulous. And also to see the tiny weight room that those amazing athletes have come out of. Vista Murrieta, if you don't know, has had some great athletes that have come out. And I feel like every school, Mr. Richards, I don't know, does Mesa have an amazing, I gotta see the weight room. I don't remember in my head. It's really small. So that must have been something that we all just decided we're gonna have tiny weight rooms. Well, anyway, we have had great athletes come out of there despite that, and I know you've taught with my wife in those science classrooms that have not been updated since you were in there, and it is problematic, and I have so much to say there. The other thing I want to address that I will address anyway, even if it takes 6 board meetings to get that through, Common Core is a disaster. The test scores have been horrible. Please read your emails if you have problems with which direction we're going, because you were asked. We lean on the experts over here. In fact, this big building right here is all built to house the experts that lead curriculum. I got this great title as president. I don't negotiate contracts. I don't decide where the money goes and who gets paid what. I don't decide what curriculum goes which way. I get advised by our superintendent and his staff. That's how the board responds, all right? So make sure we're clear. The Math Advisory Committee does not advise the board. They work with staff, all right? So it's really, really important. And I know that a lot of people come up here and think that we rule the world. The buck does stop here. We have a lot of say about certain things, and we do have access to information and, of course, access to staff and to Dr. Andrus, but we are not dictating how the district is run and who gets paid and who doesn't and which way this goes and that goes. We get advised mostly. One more thing I got to point out. Hold on, I forgot. Lots of theater stuff. Into the Woods. That was amazing. It would have been even more amazing with air conditioning. I will say this. The witches were done quite well. I wish I had the name. Grayson Sanchez, apparently is a student of my wife's, and he did a great job. I don't remember, he was one of the princes. They kept galloping around. And then one of the things, if you could have saw this is at Murrieta Valley High School, with the cow. That was Annie Carter. You might not know this. I watched very carefully. That was the most impressive cow for the entire thing. My wife said, what if your kids were, I'd say, man, that cow did a great job. And I was impressed with all the efforts of every part of the cast, because you could tell how much pride they had and how well they just pulled that off. And I will say, Wizard of Oz was equally as good. Yeah, I did enjoy seeing all the plays, but you guys had air conditioning. All right, well, anyway, that concludes my comments. Sorry. Oh, wait, no. The telescope groundbreaking. Wow, it's so cool that we got those telescopes up. Great thing. Moving along, Mrs. Briggs.
I will make it really brief. I apologize if I've been coughing up here, but I was told if I didn't make this meeting, I'd be dragged. I'd be hunted down and to get to today. I'm totally kidding. We had the telescope project. I call it the dirt breaking. It was actually the ground breaking. So I corrected myself there. But this project is very near and dear to my heart, and I don't even know why, because I'm not into astronomy. But I have to tell you, since, that whole field of dreams things, if you build it, they will come. Well, once we launched the project, I have to tell you the amount of community support that has come to this project. So shout out to, again, Darren and Jose and Dr. Andres and their teams and Randy for just laying it all out beautifully. And then I also have to acknowledge, I did it at the groundbreaking ceremony. I don't know how many of you guys know Mrs. Murray's husband, Joe Murray, who passed away in January of 23, was the initial teacher from Vista who brought in the telescope project, the telescopes, who got them donated to our school sites. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, because it doesn't matter how long it takes for this to be fulfilled. The fact that it's being fulfilled now, but because Mr. Murray and his counterpart, is it Greg Nichols, yes. So he was at the groundbreaking ceremony, which was really cool to see. And so it's kind of a neat project. I'm super excited. I'm glad all the principals are here, because I want you to know I've asked the staff to reach out to each of your sites to get with your astronomy departments, if you have one, and get them as excited about this project as we are, because it is going to impact our entire community. I just want you to, I don't even know how, I just know the star parties have been super amazing, well attended, over 300 people. I think with the addition of these telescopes and what's going to happen surrounding this with the Temecula Valley Astronomers Club, it's just going to be launching it to a whole next level situation. So I'm super excited about that. And then I apologize, I've been to the same events that everybody has been to for the most part, but this season has been super busy for our family. I had a daughter also graduate from our university in Tulsa, so we had a quick trip out there. And then we also became grandparents for the first time. I'm super excited. But it's been a lot. It has been a lot, and so I'm trying to get to as many events before the end of the year as I can, working it around my schedule. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who showed up here today for taking the time out of your dinner time, your family time, to come here to share your voice. I'm about advocacy, and I'm about being a voice for what you believe in. So I'm grateful that you guys are all here. So that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. And next, Mrs. Schmidt.
Okay, well, happy May. I can't believe we only have a few more weeks of school left, and that next month it's halfway to Christmas. Can you believe that? I don't even have last Christmas paid off yet, but it's halfway there. For many of our students and their families, they're getting ready for graduation, and I know the students are so excited, but for the parents, it might be a little bittersweet. It's moving on to the next phase, and it's happy and sad at all the same time. But to all our graduates, we wish you the best of luck, and we hope you will come back and bring your talents back to Murrieta. I also want to say congratulations to the telescope project team as they broke ground. I wasn't able to attend, but this is such an exciting project. And thank you to Eleanor and the student who brought this to the attention of the superintendent. I think it's amazing. I also want to report that Jana Preston from Special Education and her team have been analyzing the survey results that they sent out to the special education teachers and support staff. And we're given access to the results on Friday, and they've kind of sorted them. So now we will be able to collaborate and see how we can provide support. And I just want all the special education teachers that spoke and have been speaking out. We do see you and hear you, we really do, and we know that there are some big issues that need to be tackled, and we're hoping that now that we have, the survey has gone out and we have gotten your input, as well as some of your solutions, that now we can start making some changes that you've suggested and that the team can come up with, because it probably does seem like we just talk about it, but we don't do anything about it. But we really want to do something about it and start making some changes. So thank you for always coming up and speaking up for yourselves. Last Thursday, I also attended the MVUSD Art Walk and was able to observe the creativity and brilliance of our students in the area of the arts. And like everyone said, we have some truly talented students and instructors in our district. Last meeting, I spoke about the importance of cursive writing for our students and how it increases reading skills. And I just wanted to make sure that cursive writing was implemented in our elementary classrooms here in Murrieta. And I'm happy to report that Joe Parla gave me the benchmark cursive curriculum that's used in the elementary classes to show me what teachers are using in their classrooms for grades 3 through 5. I'm really happy that our teachers here in Murrieta are implementing cursive writing in their classroom. I think that's really key, so thank you for that. I've also been speaking about limiting screen time for our students, and I don't know, it's always in the news now, and I met with Joe and Faith last week to discuss this, and I'm also happy to report that we're going to update our board policy for technology that was created in 1990. So that's the last time we had a board policy for technology. So I'm sure you would all agree that it's time to update it. And we talked about going forward having a team of teachers, so we want to get the teachers' input as well, with Joe, Jen, Faith, and maybe me, if they let me, to update our board policy and create an AR for technology and limiting screen time for our students. And it won't be done this year because we have all these other things to do. And you correct me if I'm wrong, so that's our plan going forward, right, is to get teacher input, maybe like a committee, right? Okay, a committee to get your input as well. So the idea is not to go no tech at all, but rather low tech. So we're working towards this, but like I said, it'll probably take place at the beginning of the next school year. And if that's something you're really interested in, you can email and ask. Email Joe. Yeah. No, you can email any of the people I mentioned or myself. And again, I just am really encouraging everyone to read that book that I keep talking about, The Digital Delusion by Dr. Jared Cooney-Horvath. And I'm actually hoping that we get this book for our administrators to read, because as a teacher and as a parent, it's really eye-opening to me the amount, our time on tech has done to our brains and the negative effect screen time has had on our children. So our children are struggling and we need to course correct. So I know that at the beginning when we brought technology into the classroom, it was a great thing and it was supposed to help advance our students and everything, and it has in some areas, but then sometimes too much of a good thing, it goes the other way, and now it's actually detrimental to a lot of our students. So what's happening in our schools is failing performance, fractured attention, and the slow erosion of academic rigor. And if you're in the classroom, I'm sure you've seen this in the past. And it's not just because of COVID. It's many things, but this is one of the things. It's basically the analogy of the frog swimming in a pot of water that it doesn't realize it's being boiled until it's too late. It is imperative that we course correct and begin the process of going back to low tech. It can't be done all at once, but we begin by taking steps. This book highlights studies and brain research that shows how technology is harming our minds and how we think. One of the areas it talks about is how students' recall abilities have been transferred to cognitive offloading. So here's a quick experiment or example. So think about for a minute, what was your childhood best friend's phone number? It's like when you were little. Do you know what yours was? Your friend? You're a guy, so you wouldn't know. Do you know yours? Okay. Sorry, I know that's stereotypical, and you guys that remembered, I'm sure you would. Okay, I'll give you a chance. I didn't give you a chance. Do you remember your childhood best friend's phone number from memory?
I had too many friends.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
I could pick one.
So you can think about that. You probably can remember it. I can remember mine, and that would be recall. So I could ask you this question. What is your current best friend's phone number? Do you know it? I don't even know my kids' phone numbers. I do know my husband's, but that's about it. I don't know anybody's phone number. And you probably don't know it off the top of your head, but you know where to find it. So that would be offloading. So that's the difference between recall, taking a memory, and it never goes away, and we can easily retrieve it, versus offloading. We don't know what it is, but we know where we can find it. So digital tech is created to offload information so that we don't have to recall it. I use Waze all the time, and I realize, oh my gosh, I'm driving in the same town that I've driven for decades, and I'm still using my Waze app just because, I don't know why, just because I can, and to see if there's police around or there's an accident or anything. And then I think, I wouldn't know how to explain how to get here to anyone, even though I've driven this over and over again. So that's another example of offloading. So for right now, we're stuck with digital tools, but we have to find ways to use them so that we can reinforce recall for our students. So these are just some ways that teachers can reinforce recall, like right now. You could turn off multiple choice quizzes and use open-ended questions that require students to retrieve information from memory. You can turn off the search, scan, and summary functions, so students have to read the full text and process information rather than just do summary. Turn off autocorrect. Students will have to apply grammar rules from memory or even the spell correct. Send a parent a letter for a low-tech approach. There's actually one included in the book. Those are just a few ideas from the book that teachers can do. And there's also lesson alternatives that teachers can implement. Here are a few. For presentations, instead of like always a Google Slides or a Canva, storyboards, hand-drawn visuals, research projects, you could use actual packets like we did in the olden days and assign roles to groups to report their findings. Note-taking, instead of doing notes on the computer, handwritten notes, Cornell notes, mind maps. For practice and review, you could use paper flashcards, review using whiteboards and markers. And in the area of writing, have students do handwritten first drafts and peer editing on paper, and they only are using the computer to type their published version. And then for assessments, short answer or essay questions, or even give oral exams so they're having to recall. And an immediate action teachers can do right now is to reflect through and audit the screen, which is a reflection to understand how you and your students are using digital tools by collecting data. There's actually a form in the book that lets you reflect on how much tech you and your students are using each day so you can make informed decisions how to change and when to change it. So it's a really good reflection. And I think you'd be surprised how much we rely on it. And these are some things parents could do from the book. Request printable homework. Keep a 1-week screen diary recording your child's daily academic screen time at home. Keep a 1-week diary of both you and your child's non-academic screen time. Create a parent group to compare notes. Request an agenda item to request your school board, that's us, to review screen use policies, and there's one included in the book. And also a one-to-one device opt-out letter. Print the letter from the book. So I'm just mentioning this because this is very imperative that we do these things. And we have an opportunity now, and even at the end of the school year, you have some opportunities to start trying some of these things. And I think teachers that have started doing these things are seeing improvement and more engagement with their students. Of course, the students don't like it at first, but it's good for them. Okay, and in closing, going back to my first comments, congratulations to our graduating classes of 2026, and we're so proud of you, and enjoy your special day that is coming up. That concludes my report.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, next up, Ms. Young.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. So I went to the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Murrieta Innovation Center. This Murrieta Innovation Center is an incubator for startup companies, mainly biomedical research, and I think this is great, possibly great opportunities for our students and our community as a whole, and I could see it bringing really good jobs here. I was on Rotary's committee to help choose the scholarship recipient. It was very difficult. We have so many highly qualified students. One requirement to get that scholarship is they have to be in Interact, so we could narrow it down that way. I was also there for that evening to help hand out the scholarship. And I would like to just encourage anybody with graduating seniors, I know it's already been done for this year, to apply, just apply for Dollars for Scholars. There's one application, and all the different agencies and individuals that give out scholarships look through all the applications. So we saw a lot of people get multiple scholarships. And it's not just for four-year colleges, it can be for technical schools as well. I went to LCAP's Dia del Nino celebration. The organizers did an amazing job. There was lots of music. Students were wearing beautiful costumes and doing traditional dances. There was food and cultural booths. A lot of people were dancing, not just the students, other students that were there, and some of their parents I saw. And And I'm somebody who appreciates cultural diversity, all the diversity we have in this country and around the world. I really enjoy learning about different cultures, and I do think as teachers or education professionals, we need to make sure we understand where students are coming from, and that does include culture. Okay, our Higher Education Coalition, we had another meeting. We are still working on that. It's a steady process. We're doing traditional fundraising and also looking for government grants, so we're going to be doing some lobbying. I went to APAC's Rites of Passage celebration, so it's just an awesome ceremony they do every year. They give kids, 5th graders, 8th graders, and high school graduates certificates. For the high school graduates, they talked about each one, what they're going to do next. We had a student last year who's at Harvard right now. She came in on video, or they had a video of her. The whole evening was full of positivity and humor. So I want to give a shout out to Tamara Dewey, Marguerite Rucker, Raquel Anthony for all the work they do to make this possible. I want to thank Jasmine Norwood and Sierra Guerra, sorry if I mispronounce anyone's name. But the parents and teachers who organize this are volunteers. So they're giving up their free time to make sure students have this opportunity, and that needs to be recognized. I was also at the telescope groundbreaking ceremony. For me, it is near and dear to my heart. When I was a kid, my father would take me outside showing me the constellations, and I lost my father when I was 19, so it's bittersweet for me, but my family's into science, and especially with him, astronomy. I was at the Celebrating Educators Luncheon last week. We had several employees get recognized. We couldn't get a hard copy of the program, so if I leave anybody out, I apologize, and you can tell me if I left you out. So I want to recognize Denise Goldsmith, Barbara Lapp, Tom Patain, Vincent Barone, Daniel Baldwin, Joe Redding, Lisa Omstutz, Tamara Slagle, and Rachel Duffy. So I also, Saturday, I went to the Cars and Culture event at Mista Murrieta, and this is an example of how our district can help serve the entire community. This was a fundraiser for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. So that's where the proceeds went. There were interesting cars, antique cars, food, cultural booths, and we have some teachers who are very talented musicians. I wasn't there at the very beginning, but I did see 2 of the bands, and both of them had our Vista Murrieta teachers. So I want to mention them by name, Esther Langford Henderson and Charles McClellan. Both were awesome, very different types of music. And, oh yeah, there were students from Ballet Folklorico performing. And I am gonna talk about the bond, but I think I'll just wait till we get to that part of the program. So this concludes my report.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I do want to say, I apologize for walking out. My mother's on hospice, so when I get a call from them, I answer the phone. But I don't, normally I wouldn't answer the phone. But anyway, I wanted to explain a little bit, and now I am done.
All right. Next up is the consent calendar. Consent calendar items are voted on collectively as a group. Upon board member request, items may be removed from the consent calendar for discussion and individual action. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar items F1 through F7 as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Action items. G1, approval of amended Murrieta Valley Unified School District Facilities Master Plan Project List. It calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G2, adoption of resolution number 2526-18, ordering election to authorize the issuance of general obligation bonds, establishing specifications of the election order and requesting consolidation with other elections occurring on November 3rd, 2026. I call on Deputy Superintendent Darren Daniel.
Well, good evening, President Pardue, members of the board, and members of our community. Tonight, we're bringing forward for consideration a bond resolution that reflects thoughtful, deliberate, and community-driven process. The resolution is grounded in a rigorous facility master planning process shaped by extensive community engagement and supported by favorable polling. This work reflects the board's commitment to this community and to maintaining safe, high-quality learning environments. And so tonight, joining us for this meeting, I have some experts to help us with the deliberation if necessary, answer any questions that you may have. I'd like to invite our bond counsel, legal counsel, Meredith Johnson, to come to the dais to be able to support us. I know in the room, I can't see her. Oh, there you are. Joy Coomer, our communications consultants with us as well. And also to my right, our Chief Financial Officer, James Whittington, a certified CPA leader with over 20 years of school finance experience. This is an important step for us in this process that has been transparent, data-informed, and rooted in our responsibility to this community. We're here to address any questions that you may have and respectfully ask for your consideration on this agenda item.
So I don't think you have a presentation, do you, ladies?
Nope, they're just here.
They're just there Q&A.
As you guys discuss, or if you have any questions.
If you have any questions.
Is there questions regarding legal requirements of the bond question or anything like that? I brought them here for you to be able to answer any last minute questions that you may have.
I do want to, before we even get started discussing this, I would like to commend Dr. Andrus and his staff and Darren, the work that you put in. And I really wanted to hear from you before we start about the process, because one of the things that we had done in the interim between the two bonds was a redistricting. And I thought that the staff did an amazing job with our redistricting, where we thought it was going to be very contentious. We wanted to reach out to the community, be very transparent. And one of the things that I had talked to Dr. Andrus about was we want to do the same thing with regards to the bond, to make sure that we're having that community engagement. And you had made a comment in one of your presentations, because you've been through this a few times, on how well our team did in that regard. And I just would like you to reiterate that for the community.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, superintendent, members of the cabinet. Joy Coomer with Team Civics. Thank you for asking me. You know, one of the things that really impresses me about the district is the amount of involvement, the way parents are engaged. When we came together and we started talking about this bond measure, you were already undertaking a very intensive facilities master planning process. There were already town halls planned. And I said, can we do 3 more meetings? And they were like, are you crazy? And I said, no, 3 more meetings, please. Can we do 3 more meetings? And the team agreed, and so many people came together for those facilities advisory committee meetings. We had representatives from every school site. We had the police chief here. We had the fire chief here. We had members of city council here. Everybody came and really listened about what the district was planning. They came to hear about the process. And I just really had not seen that many people show up and be engaged. And it just, again, reaffirmed to me that, you know, what this district is doing, the process that they are going through, is really on the right track, and it's in sync with their community. And we've just seen that over and over again. With each meeting that we've had, people continue to show up. With the number of people who came and spoke tonight, you know, they are informed. They do understand what this process has been. They do know, you know, everything about this details-wise, because we've been transparent with the community this entire time. So just kudos to the team, to everybody who has put in the time, who has showed up. It's really impressive. I don't get to see that in every district.
Well, I just want to add, sorry. I wanted to add, there were 6 principals that came up and spoke, so they were pretty informed, I would hope, right? So, any other board member would like to speak?
I'll make some, I don't really have a question. This has been pretty thoroughly covered, but I will make a few comments. So, there's one thing I didn't.
Well, don't we do a motion first and then have comments?
Right, yeah.
So
okay.
then, but if we have questions for that.
I don't really, because they've been so thorough. that.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
can't
we feel
think of
good?
anything else.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, that calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and now this would be the time for discussion. And Ms. Young, since you had started.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I will keep it brief because a lot of what I could say has been said. I do want to reiterate, because I didn't really hear that tonight, but at previous meetings, I sometimes got the impression that not everybody really understood the role of the board with bonds. We can't pass a bond. All we can do is allow the voters to vote. So all we can do is allow it to be on the ballot for voters to vote. Everybody, they can vote follow their conscience. And yeah, well, probably none of us is crazy about the system we have with bonds, but it's the system we have and it's the reality we live in. And our schools desperately need infrastructure improvements. And I will also mention that public support has been quite strong. Our surveys have shown, depending on the trustee area, 70 to 75% support. My trustee area is at 75%, and I have a large retirement community in my area, the Colony, and people stereotype that people in retirement communities may not support bonds as much as other people, but I don't think that's true. But 75%, that says a lot, especially when the Colony takes a huge percentage of my area. So, yeah, and I agree with most of what the public commenters said this evening, so I won't repeat. But so I'll just leave it at that.
I do have a comment. I just wanted, however way this goes, and I really do want to acknowledge the teams that put it together. The last 12 months have been pretty rigorous, and like Monica and Tammy and Rhonda and Darren and his team and finance and their team, we've riddled them with questions to the upteenth degree, and they responded pretty amazingly and quickly. And I think in terms of transparency, that's our biggest thing is as a board, we pushed for transparency. We said, if we want our community to make a decision, we have to give them the right information. And I think they've done an outstanding job doing that right now. I mean, last meeting, I listed all of the meetings that we had, the numbers. I mean, they had all the statistics on it, and we are a very data-driven organization. And the data that has come out of this as a result of the hard work that they've put in, it speaks volumes. And so I just want to say thank you and shout out to all of every single person who's involved. It took a lot to get those community meetings, the principals to prepare the spaces for us to come into your domain, into your kingdoms. You guys had to prepare the space for the community, have the refreshments, have all of that stuff. So kudos to the entire process. It was very well thought out, and I'm just telling you the direction that that they went in to get the facilities master plan at the minimum to be able to highlight what we need to fix and repair as a district was phenomenal. So I just wanted to say thank you.
I don't really want to say anything because everybody's waiting here with bated breath. So I think we could just.
Well, I have some things to say for sure. My name comes up so often with this. About 2 years ago, feels like it was yesterday, we were discussing increasing enrollments. We're not discussing that anymore. There was discussion about a new school and new school sites and funding for that site. I was quite frustrated with the concept that there would be no tax increase. And anytime we pass a bond, that's definitely money, and that's definitely taxes, and that's definitely property taxes. I don't like when we act as if it's not a tax increase. My other big concern was where we could get funding from other sources, because I had mentioned I'm not a fan, and I know the public's not a fan. In fact, I think that's part of our declining enrollments of how the state funds our schools. And as a teacher who has watched my paycheck increase while my wife, who's a teacher in this district's not keeping pace with my paycheck, I've watched my schools in the area get lots of funding where our schools are not. The state has picked winners and losers. Now, I don't like how the state does it. The state funding formula is a complete joke, and it hurts our employees, and it hurts our whole community, because then we're forced to go to a bond. The other issue that I have is we are the highest tax state in the union. That drives everyone insane, that we then have to turn around and ask taxpayers for more money after we've already paid such high rates of taxes. So it's a huge frustration for lots of people. With that being said, I do know also that the people in Murrieta expect quality schools. I've gone to every single school in this district. I've toured them. I've talked to the principals. I asked what their needs are. I go into the classrooms. I've seen what's going on at our schools. I'm aware of a lot of the needs, and especially considering that every time I have a day off, my wife wants lunch, and I go into one of the most dilapidated classrooms in the district. Ask this gentleman right here. He can attest to it. Those science scores are still amazing, regardless of how bad the countertops are. But with that being said, I do understand that we met with Kate Sanchez, we met with Kelly Ciarto. We've done our due diligence in trying to find funding from the state and really push our case to get funded fully like all the other schools in our area.
And Dr. Andres has met with Natasha Johnson and her team on that same note.
Yeah, so I know that we're advocating for it, and we did just pass a resolution trying to coordinate with other districts that are also in our situation, trying to get funding. By the way, that funding goes directly to paychecks, unlike the bond, which does not go to teacher paychecks. So it's very important that we know that. The other thing is, being a child of the 80s, I get super frustrated just knowing how much the state has cut back funding for CTA stuff. There used to be welding in every single high school. There used to be art studios in every high school. There used to be culinary in every single high school, and that just went away. And now we're wishing we had a welding shop. We're wishing we had this, and we're wishing that's frustrating. I'm just saying, for an older Californian, it's frustrating. So that's basically all I have to say with that. I think we can move on to the vote because I know you're all waiting for that. So
Just real quick, a technical point. This vote requires a supermajority of the board, which is 4 votes. Even though there's only 4 of you and we have a vacant seat, it still is the same number 4. It's not the majority of 4. It's the majority of 5. So it takes all 4 yes votes for this to be put on the ballot, just as a point of clarification for the trustees and the community and those listening.
Thank you.
okay, we'll do roll call vote. Ms. Briggs?
Yes.
Mr. Pardue is a yes. Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Motion carried, 4-0.
There you go.
I want to thank all of you because your engagement and the fact that we care so much about education and the commitment to education in our area is just, it's the best in California. Everything that the speaker said about how Murrieta feels about education is 100% spot on. That's how we feel. We want the best for our kids, for sure. We might argue over how we want to get there, but we definitely care about our kids a lot. All right, so thank you all for so much for that. We're going to move on with the agenda. Item G3, approval of the 2026-27 school year Board of Education meeting schedule. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G4, approval of personnel report. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G5, approval of the 2027-28 and 28-29 proposed student calendars. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G6, approval of declaration of need for fully qualified educators for the 2026-27 school year. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G7, approval of new high school course outlines. This calls for a motion.
So moved.
Before you second or before someone seconds?
We
is
can have
this
a
when
conversation.
Can we have a conversation?
After the second.
After the second.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, and now conversation, go ahead.
Oh, was there a second?
Yes.
There was a
I'm
second.
sorry, I didn't quite hear.
Yeah, Ms. Eleanor.
Thank you.
So I would like to make a motion to, well, can I make a motion for this discussion or how?
Well, right now is a
Sorry.
discussion.
Okay,
But there's
discussion.
already a motion and a second
Okay.
to approve them, the four as is. That's what's
Okay.
available.
Okay. So I would approve most of them except the last one, this 1605, Themes and Leaders in American History. I'd like to have some discussion about some of the important figures on page 9. If you guys want to look at that. So are we allowed to, I'm for voting for the first three, but not the last one, or the one on
Faith, would you like to
an American
chime in
history.
on the list? And
It's on page 9.
Margaret Sanger
Margaret
is
Sanger.
the person in question.
Yes.
Is it, yeah, well, I'm sorry. In the development. So this isn't comprehensive to the entire course, or it just happens to be some of the main characters within the course outline?
I think it's just giving an overview of who would be a selection of the important figures that would be covered during this time. They would be covered in terms of their historical context. I was looking at this again, and it's talking about the era of progressive leadership, and so it's talking about what's happening at that time and who played a role, what, where. It's not about who we agree with or not. It's understanding what happened during that time and allowing students to put the pieces together. It's not, you understand.
I do. Well, I think one of the examples that I gave was, Hitler's not a great guy, but we still need him in the history book. Margaret Sanger, I think the issue with Margaret Sanger, as her history has become more well-known, people start to wonder, how are we going to teach about Margaret Sanger?
Understood.
And I think that is kind of the biggest issue where there's some contention. One of my biggest points whenever it comes up with controversial subjects and or personas is just that we give it, we want our students to have critical thinking skills, and we want them to know both sides of what's going on. And I want to make sure that that's what our teachers are trying to do. It's nice that we have a big crowd because I think it's important. There are two sides to Margaret Sanger. I went to the KKK meeting and spoke about how I really would like to get rid of certain people, and that is really not good. But we want to make sure we include that and not just lionize her as being just wonderful for the other positive things that we're doing.
As you know, we talk regularly with our teachers and provide that concept of controversial topics and thinking about how we address these types of issues. We want our kids to think critically and to make their own minds up about what they think about different things that occurred in history. But it's part of the process.
Yeah, I think it might be something that we can discuss also as we move forward, is just even our educators aware of some of these historical things that have been obscured, right? So we have a tendency to only see the bright side sometimes, and we don't always get to see the dark side. And that's true for all historical figures.
Well, I just wanted to know how she was added to this list because this says themes and leaders in American history, and I'm looking on page 9 at the other important figures for this time in history, and like Susan B. Anthony, Ida B. Wells, Booker T. Washington, Mary McLeod Bethune. These are not controversial. The only person on here that I see that's very controversial is Margaret Sanger. So when you said, oh, well, Hitler's a bad person, we have to learn about him. I agree, but who else are we learning about on this list that's not a very good person? Because Margaret Sanger was a eugenist who believed in selective breeding, and she developed the Negro Project to bring birth control centers to African American communities.
Yeah.
And get rid of African Americans. So if we were looking at historical figures and debating them, but this says leaders in American history.
I know
would
that
not
there's recently been much more controversy about what, the bigger picture of what she was doing. We can look into it and go back to the folks who created this course outline and get a better understanding of what they were going to do with it. I do know that in all of our history classes, a regular aspect of it is understanding the good and the bad. That's part of understanding, all these figures.
I get that. I totally get that. But I don't see, this one's like bad, and I don't see anyone else that's even close to this on this list. So I would just want to know how they came to put this person on here, and I'm fine.
Do you want me to look into that, and then we
Yes,
can
if
bring
you
this
could.
one back? Does that
If we
sound
could
good?
bring that back, but I don't know if we can because we already have a
don't
second.
have time.
Well, at the moment, in terms of procedure, there's a first and a second to vote. And so if that fails, then you can make a new motion.
And we could bring this back in June and not affect anything too dramatically?
No, especially if we want to just revise the
Yeah.
make an amendment, or at least come to an understanding
Yes,
about
maybe an
that, because we might be in the exact same spot with the same course as is, once we have a little more understanding about how it's presented.
Yeah, let's table that then. So we'd have to vote first.
You have to vote first.
We got to vote first. Okay, let's have a roll call vote.
So this is for all four
To
courses.
say that we're
For all
gonna
four
keep it
courses?
as is, and so we would require us to vote this down in order to revote for it to come back.
You could vote this down at the moment. I'm trying to think procedurally how to do this.
Yeah.
We would just have to have it back on the next agenda to approve, because we need the other courses ready to roll.
Absolutely.
'Cause
Yeah.
you saw there's 911 dispatcher in there and some cool stuff, so.
So there's no way to just motion to amend?
Who made the motion?
Nick made I think it was Nick who
I
made the
think it was
original.
Nancy.
I did.
Nancy does.
Nancy could, if she chooses, because she's the one who made the motion, if she chooses to amend her motion, it would be up to her to approve the three and bring the other one back
But
for
it's
future
just-
review.
I'm not comfortable doing that because it feels like censorship to me, and that's not our role. That should not be our role.
Well, it's not removing it completely. I mean, since we're
just
discussing,
two.
it's not removing it completely. It's just to table the one line item to be able to discuss and get more clarification, correct?
It would be amend the motion to approve the other three courses and table the one course for a future action.
Because you don't want people to know who she was?
Oh, no, we really want people to know who she was.
Then why are
That
we
is
doing?
absolutely what we
then
want to do.
Why are
No,
we doing this?
I'm not too far off from your position. I'm not entirely sure that everyone knows her full history and
Well, they
how
will
it's taught.
now because we're making.
I know, we're having
a
quite the
big deal out of it.
conversation. I think everybody knows. I'm agreeing.
I just feel like
I find it
this type
actually.
of micromanaging.
We're not
No,
micromanaging.
you're not.
We're having this conversation, and I think it's a great conversation to have, and I think it's a conversation that needs to be had more often, and especially when it comes to history. But that's because I'm a history guy. Okay, well then.
She's not amending the motion.
She's not amending the motion, so we're going to have to call for a vote. Okay. I don't think this is all in favor. So Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Pardue, I'm a yes. Ms. Schmidt
No.
and Ms. Briggs.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 3-1. All right.
We can still follow through
We
and
can
have a
follow
conversation
through
about the
on
course.
That is my biggest
We will
thing.
follow up. We will follow up for sure and just get more information and make sure it's presented in a way that is definitely unbiased one way or the other and presents the full story of the history for sure.
And I would just want to know why she's on this list with all these other people who.
She was important in that historical time, and so I think that that's what,
I wish to, so I really enjoyed the conversation I had with an avid class at Vista Murrieta High School, BT Dubs. It was so fun to interact with students, and especially me being a history guy, I really enjoyed this conversation. I wish, and same when teachers come up and like, oh, how come you didn't talk to the math advisory people or this people? I don't get invited to come. I think some coaches asked me to come and talk. I'm talking at a coaches thing, Mr. Tukwa. Perfect. Most people are kind of like arm's distance. I'd love to talk history. Please bring me along. I'll talk to anyone about it. So I hope we are more engaged in this kind of conversation in the future and we get going on that. So yeah, I think we'll be back at it. So moving on, item G8. We did that, right?
No,
So
we're on to
3-1?
G8.
We're on G8. Adoption of resolution number 252619, authorizing the annual delegation of administrative authority to process routine budget revisions, adjustments, and transfers for fiscal year 2026-27. It calls for a motion.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G9, adoption of resolution number 2526-20, authorizing the temporary transfer of funds between various district funds for fiscal year 2026-27. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G10, adoption of resolution number 252621, adopting wire transfer payments for fiscal year 2026-27. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G11, review of investment report for the quarter ending March 31st, 2026. The board has received this report. Item G12, approval of the appointment of a member to the Citizens Oversight Committee for the Measure BB General Obligation Bond. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. I call for a motion to adjourn to closed session at 7:42 p.m.
So trustees, I have a little bit of information I need to share with you.
Okay.
So Dr. Andrus would like to meet with us really quick. I know we were all ready to go get something.
Okay.
For the public, no action will be taken, and the regular meeting will be adjourned at the conclusion of the closed session. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate you.